What up, though? One Pride. This is the Roar of the Lions UK podcast, the podcast where One Pride goes worldwide. My name is Anthony Fitzpatrick. I'm joined this evening by Ryan McCluskey, which can only mean one thing. It is time for your weekly dose of college knowledge. Yes, it is the college football podcast. When it Haynes, it pours. And Ryan, we are in to what feels like the absolute most tumultuous bit of the season so far. The coaching hiring cycle has exploded. The FCS Playoff Bracket has been revealed. And going into the last week of the regular FBS season, we have just one team that has booked its way to a championship game berth so far. Just one. Every other spot is up for grabs. This is going to be what they call utter chaos this weekend.
Yeah, like I said, this is how it should be. Nothing should be decided until rivalry weekend. Literally everything is on the line in every major conference, and this is the dream, because for the teams that are already out, like I say, all the teams that are always on the wrong side of the rivalry, they've got the chance to do the funniest thing ever and break the hearts of the fans that are on the cusp of a championship berth. And everyone's got something to play for. You're either going to be you're either going to be smiling or you're going to be in tears for one reason or another.
Absolutely, we are. So we have an absolute ton to get through today. We will get through as much as we can, and then maybe we'll have to leave some bits for another time. But we've got a lot of news to go through regarding coaching, hirings, and firings. The FCS Playoff Bracket has been revealed, and just like last year, our very own FCS extraordinaire Ryan McCluskey is going to try his best to fill in that bracket and predict what is going to happen. I have all the hypothetical situations up for the FBS conferences. Again, only one team is guaranteed a championship berth, and there are a lot of things that can go right or wrong this week, so we're going to explain all the conferences for you and all the permutations that can happen in regards to that. Then we have the awards have been announced, award finalists, the Boletnikov, the Doak Walker, everything like that. And Ryan, you probably don't want to know, but so far me and you have not one of the guys we predicted for anything made their respective finalist list. So it just shows
I've noticed, yeah.
It just shows how hard it is. I've got John Sumrall left in the George Munger running. That is literally it. Maybe the highest.
I can't remember who I've got. I just know none of them are there.
You've got Dabo Swinney in the George Munger, so you're boned.
Oh yeah, he's looking to be in a job, so. Right.
Yeah, we've got all that, and then we've not even got onto the week 13 stuff yet. So, and then week 14, God knows. Right, we're going to do as much as we physically can. I say, hopefully the stream holds up this evening. If for whatever reason this winter weather plays havoc with my stream and we go down, I am recording this. We'll finish the recording off air and we'll release this whole episode as an audio pod that you can listen to. Hope everyone is alright with us this evening. I see Mile Marker is in the building. I see Brent DeWitt is in the building. Duncan Stewart is in the building. Mile Marker goes Gophers 6-5, 4-4. Brent goes Black Knights and Gophers both lost heartbreakers. Your teams should both be ashamed of yourselves. You combined lost to Tulsa and Northwestern. Shame on you. I was watching that Minnesota game at work and it broke me, watching that heartbreaking ending, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, Minnesota, the ultimate home and away team this year, let's say. Brent, Army are not getting into the American action this year, but Navy is still in it, so we will see. As always, if you have any questions as the evening goes on, just let us know and we will try and get around to it at some point. But as I say, we've got a lot to go through. We're going to skip all the housekeeping stuff, you know the drill with all that good stuff there. And we're going to move right on into the news. Straight into the coaching stuff. Right, there has been one firing this week we need to address. That is Justin Wilcox has been fired by the California Golden Bears. He was in his 9th season and was sporting a 48-55 record overall, which made him the longest tenured head coach in college football who had a losing record. In 7 years in the Pac and 2 in the ACC, he has never had a winning conference record in a season. The final dagger for him came in the rivalry game with Stanford. Cal was sat at 6-4 on the year with a chance to make a good bowl game with a couple of wins to end the year. Instead, They got blown out by 21 points. They had 13 penalties against them, 5 turnovers, 2 of them which were fumbles that were returned for touchdowns, and that was the camel that broke... that was the straw that broke the camel's back, per se, right? I think this Cal team has had a lot of talent and a lot of good players down the years, but it's just been mired with a head coach who has not been able to take it to the next level and has not adapted to the ACC very well. And when you lose to a Stanford team, which is quite frankly an insult sometimes to football to call them a football team at the moment, when you get blown out in these rivalry games, they matter. He was safe before this result. The manner of this, he's gone. And now Cal, for the first time in nearly a decade, looking for a new head coach.
Yeah, it was one of those where it came as a shock to me, a lot of people, because as we thought this program that has gone through so much turmoil and upheaval in recent years, that, I mean, to start the season, like I say, got hot. Like I say, the freshmen come in. Like I say, the QB. Like I say, their veteran leaders on the defense stepped up, and like I say, they all bought into the Wilcox, and he managed to steady the ship and had them competing for a while in, like I say, a chaotic and underwhelming ACC. And then, I don't know, it's like the media kind of realised, the fans realised, they kind of like felt all the eyes on them. And then the wheels kind of came off like a bit of a victim of their own success. And if I'm you, like I said, before the Stanford game, I would have never thought there was any danger really happening. Because like I said, this is a year where nobody expected anything. Like I say, it was just a kind of get your feet under the table kind of one, like I say, and then kick on next year. Like, so I'm still kind of surprised by it. It still feels harsh to me that a team that has already, like say, felt that the pain of, like say, going back to square one is again going back to the drawing board and risking upsetting a freshman quarterback that may have got attached to a head coach. So yeah, you do risk, like say, the commit you've got now, but also the players that broke out this year that may not take too kindly this kind of move. So for me, I think it's a very questionable decision. Because who out there right now could do a better job than him?
I mean, that is the question. Is it better the devil you know? And I think just the bad losses were bad losses. Obviously, there was that 34-zip shutout by San Diego State, who were a G5 team. And then getting blown out by... And this is like you said, this is the power of rivalry games. Like, they have more of an effect than just a win or a loss. The fact they've been humiliated by their local rivals has kind of stuck the knife in when maybe he might have survived otherwise, but it's tough so far in terms of the running for this job. Now, this is very controversial. So the Oregon defensive coordinator Tosh Lupui he's the favourite for the job outright, but he is absolutely despised by the California fan base, which this would be a very unpopular hire with them. For those who don't know, he was a coordinator there. I think it was back in 2012, 2013, maybe around that area. And behind their back, he negotiated his exit to go to Washington as a coordinator there. And whilst he was doing that, he was telling all his recruits who were coming to Cal to decommit and instead go to Washington. And he ended up, and it was a very acrimonious split. A lot of his recruits ended up following them, but he is he's a well-known commodity. Oregon's been a good team. He's obviously known there. The fans have not forgotten, but I don't know. It would feel like a bad hire to me, right? Someone who's done that to your team in the past. You shouldn't really go down that route.
No, like I say, that's just... I mean, the only thing Cal's got right now is a loyal fan base. They're the only ones that have stuck around through all this. So you go hire someone they hate, cancel your season ticket, like.
Yeah.
Find better things to do on a Saturday than go watch a person you hate coach your football team. There's plenty of other things to do. Yeah. This, I don't know how you can even consider it.
I guess it's not.
Talk about, you've just kicked the hornet's nest now, like I say, by firing a coach that a lot of people would probably thought a bit hard and done by. Want to go get someone that, yes, may be a great coach and may do an excellent job, but if the fans don't like him, and maybe he's not overly fond of the fan base, I can't imagine they're on good terms, either of them, after how they departed. Probably had a lot of spats. I mean, yeah. Why would he want to come back is the question.
Head coaching job, and probably much more money than he's making now. So
But I say he can't hold out for another job. I just thought, why would he want this job?
I think it might be his alma mater. I could be wrong, but I think he's got big ties.
He's going to have to go a long way to win the fan base over.
Yeah, other guys in there. Ryan Grubb, the Bama OC. Obviously, he was at Washington with Kalen DeBoer, so he's got West Coast experience in there. Outside of that, it looks like they're looking smaller coming up. San Diego State head coach Sean Lewis, formerly in the MAC, he's in the running for it, especially the job he's done with them this year has been tremendous. New Mexico head coach Jason Eck. New Mexico can make the Mountain West Championship game. And then you've got the UC Davis head coach Tim Plow. Obviously, UC Davis about to embark on their FCS playoff venture. He's had them in there the last couple of years, and obviously he's out there in Cal. But I feel like that would be one of the better hires, right? Getting one of these upcomers out the Mountain West.
Their Aggies defense. The UC Davis, like I say, have been incredibly good in recent years.
Yeah,
we've seen a lot of, we've seen it just this week that if you get the FCS coaches get one sniff of any interest, there's your extension. There's the NIL boosters, like I said, they don't take kindly to it. So you'd be testing their mettle. But this is, we look at this week. It's the year of the little guy. We're in the little guy era. Like I say, so I like that.
Yeah, it's potentially there. So we'll wait and see what happens with those. As mentioned, the hiring cycle has now really started in jest, and now this is probably going to force some teams into firing their head coaches soon because guys are getting snapped up. But we've got 3 new hires, 2 confirmed, 1 almost confirmed. But the first one is an absolutely tremendous hire, Ryan. I'm looking forward to this. North Texas head coach Eric Morris will be heading to Oklahoma State at the end of North Texas's season. He is staying there for potential championship games and playoff games. He's been a very successful head coach, first at Incarnate Word, then he went to Washington State as coordinator. Then he came to North Texas. He has turned that team right around. This 10-1 record that they're sporting this year is the best in school history. They have the number 1 offense in the nation. They have scored at least 30 points in every single game this year. And they've gone over 50 points 6 times, which is just insane. And Morris is known primarily for his quarterback skills. He has coached Baker Mayfield. He has coached Patrick Mahomes. He was the guy who recruited Cam Ward to Incarnate Word as a 0-star recruit. He took Cam Ward with him to Washington State and created the guy who would go on to Miami and then to be a number 1 overall pick in the draft. At Washington State, he was the guy who developed John Mattia, the great dual threat quarterback who got himself a power transfer down to Oklahoma. And then at North Texas, he picked Chandler Morris out of the portal from TCU, turned him into the 5th highest pass yards per game quarterback in the FBS last season, which got him a Power 4 transfer to Virginia. And then this year, we've witnessed the rise of Drew Mestermaker, who's had one of the finest true freshman quarterback campaigns in some years. And this was a quarterback who didn't play quarterback in varsity high school at all and was again a 0-star recruit. I mean, in terms of impeccable resumes, right, this is a guy who he's done a lot of coordinator work as a QB coordinator. There's probably no one better in the country than him right now, but twice now at Incarnate Word first and at North Texas, he has created some of the most devastating offenses we've seen in college football in recent years. And for an Oklahoma State side that has not won a game in the Big 12 in over 2 years, it will be at this point when it happens again next year. This is a hell of a hire for them, and it's a hell of an opportunity for Morris to really stick his name amongst some of the best in college football.
Yeah, I love this hire. Like I say, we've always thought of offense at Oklahoma State. We've always considered it of, like say, quarterbacks, the running backs they've had. Like say, they've been a predominant, like say, for a large part of the time of Gundy, they were a juggernaut. Like I say, they produced a lot of top talent and they had a lot of successful string of quarterbacks. And in recent years, the conveyor belt has dried up. The last prominent offensive player is probably Chuba Hubbard. he was a star, but he's been gone years. And ever since they've gone, I mean, yeah, quarterbacks, like say, have cycled, they've all failed. His own son didn't work out, like say, and yeah, I mean, it was a difficult decision to fire a man that's given you over 2 decades of football. Like I say, has got an incredible record, and the Cowboys are a huge football program with a huge fan base. So for me to go get, like I say, one of the best up and coming offensive minds in the country, like I say, Eric Morris, knows the area well, knows the Big 12, as you say, TTU alum. Cowboys fans hate that. But like I say, that adds a bit of spice to it as well, doesn't it? Like I say, Texas Tech former player, like I say, that's great to it. Like I say, he's only 40 years old. Like I say, he has got a lot of great ideas about how he wants to call games, how he wants to be offense. He's going to have a lot of assist when they play call. And it don't hurt. The fact is, I mean, North Texas fans, I mean, don't be naive. Drew Mestamaker is gone. He is the starting quarterback for the Oklahoma State Cowboys next year. And I don't think anyone that's coming in as a freshman on that roster will stop him because he can command his offense. I'm sorry, North Texas fans, but your star running back is probably also gone because we've seen in recent years that, like I say, we saw Signetti do it to Illinois, took the JMU players. We saw Bob Chesney take the Holy Cross players to JMU. Like I say, when a head coach has players that are extremely talented and buy in, they will follow you to the ends of the earth. Like you're the hitchhiker's guide. They will go through the galaxy with you. And yeah, a lot of the big players' names are going to go with him.
And Oklahoma State is obviously a prominent school where you can get drafted from.
Exactly.
Again,
they can do wonders for your profile, like I say, because the Big 12 is feisty.
Yeah, especially if you're like Caleb Hawkins, the running back, 22 touchdowns this year for North Texas. Like, you can go to Oklahoma State and win a Doak Walker Award. Ollie Gordon did it, 2 years ago he won the Doak Walker.
Chuba Hubbard was one of the best running backs in the country when he was a Cowboy.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard, I think, may have won a Doak Walker while he was there as well.
I believe he did,
And like you said, if you get this, you bring your star quarterback and your running back with you, that's your offense. Already got some good solid pieces to work with and around.
TCU, got
you'll probably
Houston, got this man. The air raid is back in the Big 12. This is going to be an air raid offense, and it's going to be explosive. They're gonna put big numbers. Don't get twisted. He has got a huge job to rebuild this roster.
Oh, absolutely, and you've got to give him
time. Off every team in the country for this hire. I've seen Eric Morris listed with every vacancy. Auburn will have wanted him. Arkansas were absolutely foaming at the mouth for this guy, apparently. Like I say, but I like the fit.
Yeah.
Because it will be a spread offense. Like I say, also bringing a running back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like Oklahoma State, their running back resume goes all the way back to Barry and guys like that. Like, it's just produced some of the finest players going, and Caleb Hawkins.
I said though, the North Texas vacancy is also incredibly attractive.
It is, and it's going to be far more attractive than when
I feel like that an up and coming FCS coach. I'm looking at North Texas.
Exactly. I didn't have a chance to look, or did I have a chance to look? They're candidates at the minute. There's a few been mentioned. So Texas Tech's offensive coordinator Matt Leftwich has been
I
linked
like
to
that
it
bit already because he will keep the strong spread passing offense.
Yeah, SMU's offensive coordinator Casey Woods has been mentioned.
Like Lashley, like I say, air raid.
And out the FCS, the one that's been mentioned a lot, and this is more by fans than me, but the Stephen F. Austin head coach, Carby Carthel, obviously that's a predominant on defense as well. Like they've got an elite
Texas,
defense there. Stephen F. Austin's Texas, yeah. So it's in the area, it's local. There was another one that was mentioned as well. I can't remember, but there's a few names knocking around, but nothing concrete at this moment in time. But yeah, I am really, really looking forward to seeing Eric Morris at Oklahoma State, and we watch that program with intrigue next year.
Interesting to see now what happens between now and end of season. Like I say, realistically, they've got a small chance at the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like I said, then they got the bowl game. Do people just check out?
Yeah.
Or do they, like I say, leave on a high?
It's Billy Sims from Oklahoma State as well, Duncan Stewart says. Billy Sims and
Billy Sims from Oklahoma?
I might be right. I know Barry.
I thought Sims was a Sooner.
Yeah, they're both from. I say he was from Oklahoma. Okie.
Yeah.
He might just be Oklahoma has its rich history.
Both State, like I say, there's a dynasty of like say Russian attack coming out of there.
Yeah, absolutely there is indeed. So yeah, Eric Morris North Texas head coach going to Oklahoma State. Next one, and I was quite sad about this because this has become one of my favourite teams over the last few years, and it's now going to be ripped apart. UConn head coach Jim Mora is off to Colorado State in his 27 and 23 spell. Over 4 years at UConn, he has completed what is one of the best rebuilding jobs in all of football. He took over a Huskies team that had been bowling just once in the previous 11 years. They didn't have a 9-win season since all the way back in 2007, and yet he leaves a program having overseen back-to-back 9-win seasons for the first time in school history. 3 of his 4 seasons they have been bowl eligible. 3 of his 4 seasons have seen players drafted to the NFL. And UConn have a Biletnikoff finalist this year, and they're likely going to have more drafted players as well. It's one of the finest jobs we've seen in some time. But Mora is joining a Colorado State team as they're about to move to the newly revamped Pac-12, and they are in all sorts of bother. They've been through 3 head coaches in the last 6 seasons. Jay Norvell, obviously most recent this year. They've only been bowl eligible once since 2017, which is crazy for a team that's got a fan base that size and the resources and the infrastructure that it does. It's a program that needs stability first and then wins, just like UConn did when Jim Mora arrived there, right? I mean, you can't say anything more impressive than what he's done in his time with the Huskies. When we started this podcast, I remember us talking about the UConn UMass Toilet Bowl, where neither team had won in like 5 years combined between them, and they were just a joke and a laughing stock. But over the last 2 years, they're 14-1 at home. The last 2 seasons, you go to UConn, you lose. They're producing NFL draft players. It's just been an incredible job he's done. And for Colorado State, this again may seem like a very smart hire. Exact same situation. He's done it once. He can do it again with better resources.
Yeah. Like I say, sucks for UConn. It's painful. Like I said, to lose the guy that is a quarterback whisperer, one of the most respected veteran guys in the country, leaving off 2 historic 9-3 back-to-back seasons. Like, they're going down in the history books. Everything he's done, every player that he's helped come. Like I say, it's painful for them, but he's leaving them in an unimaginably better place than he found them. The foundations are there. I'd like to think straight away that the coordinators don't follow Jim, because now I'd want the job. Like I say, you just carry on the good work he's got. I'd imagine that you're going to promote internally. You don't want to screw up a good thing, so you're not going to get an outside hire UConn. You go with, like, say, your defensive offensive coordinator. But yeah, Colorado State kind of just been in the middle of the pack, scrapping for a couple of years, a bit like the wilderness. Like I say, it's been a struggling year. It's been rough for them. Like I say, they had the huge win against like Fresno State this year, but other than that, they've been somewhat of an underwhelming anomaly. Like I say, just treading water. So they need a direction to go in. So yeah, going out there and getting a very experienced elder statesman, like I say, that knows how to build a foundation, help to, like I say, steady a ship and then get things going in the right direction makes sense for them right now. Probably they're not a team that want the flashy young hire. They're just not ready. They don't have the pieces for it right now. So going with experience like Mora, it won't be long term, but it doesn't feel like Nanny McPhee. She never stayed long term, but she helped all the kids while she was there. That's Jim Mora. He might be there 18 months, might be there 3 years. Like I say, but he'll leave them in a better place and he'll get them back, at least moving in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. That's a team that regularly pulls in 40,000 fans and has got a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And they've just not. They've not delivered. They've been severely.
And that rivalry game. Wow, I watched it last year. That's one of the most underrated rivalries. They hate each other.
Yeah.
The hits and that, like I say, they're awful to each other.
Yeah, and inserting Jim Mora into this mix is going to create for something. Jim Mora versus Deion Sanders is going to be a head coaching battle for the ages when eventually we get it. I love the hire. I'm just sad because it marks an end for UConn, where every year I seem to have a UConn draft crush, and like they've just developed players so well, and knowing he's not there anymore is going to be tough. But like I said, this is the first time, and they've said for UConn, it's the first time they're looking for a head coach in years where they're not financially strapped because they've not fired somebody. They're in a good position. They're in, better financially, better on the field, better off the field. It's more appealing. I hope they give it to Gordon Sammis, their offensive coordinator. Like, he's one of my favourite coaches in football. You think the talent he's sent to the NFL. Ryan Vandermark's playing for the Bills. You've got Chase Luntz on the Bills side as well. Obviously, you've got Christian Haynes, who's playing for the Seattle Seahawks now. Like, year in, year out, he's done that. He's been the OC the last 2 years, so he's overseeing Cam Edwards, who's going to leave as statistically one of the best running backs UConn have ever had. He's helped Skylar Bell get to the Biletnikoff conversation this year. Like, his ability to help develop these players is huge. I love Gordon Sammis. I hope he gets the job and they don't go outside the building. But again, I'll be rooting for Colorado State with Jim Mora at the helm. Duncan goes, great basketball program though at UConn. Yeah, they were known as a basketball school, and now they're not. They're known as a football school as well, and a legitimate football school. They need to hurry up and join the ACC and get themselves in conference and get that money coming in.
Yeah, like I say, I think it's a good hire. I think both teams, like I say, need this right now, and yeah. I think UConn will do the sensible thing. They're not going to rock the boat too much.
No, not at all. And then the third one, this was announced today. It has not been made official, but it is somebody in the know, and it is probably going to happen. And this is the one that raised eyebrows. USF, University of South Florida head coach Alex Golesh is heading to the SEC to take over at Arkansas. USF was his first head coach job for the former Tennessee offensive coordinator, which is his only link to the SEC. But he was another, like Mora, he inherited a dead program at USF. They were coming off a disastrous 4-29 record under Jeff Scott. The team had only got one win in the American in the previous 3 years, which is crazy. But in Golesh's 3 years, he has turned the Bulls into one of the Group of Five's premier teams. He posted back-to-back 7-win seasons with a .500 AAC record both years. Before this year, they took their big step forward. They improved to 8 wins. They've got a 5-2 record in the American this year. And this is an incredibly tough conference where anybody can beat anybody. They may have fallen short of the conference title game, which they were probably looking for, but to be on the cusp of an American championship and the playoffs, they were in that at one point, to come through that far in 3 years, that shows how far the program's come under him, right? For a first-time head coach who was given absolutely nothing, he's created one of the most exciting teams in the American. And yes, maybe year 3 didn't go the way he wanted to, but there's no denying what an absolutely fantastic job there. And again, he's going to leave a very attractive opening for somebody when no one would have touched that job with a barge pole 3 years ago. First off, just Golesh at USF. What a job he has done there.
Yeah, I'm with you. Don't like the fit. I prefer the team he's leaving to the one he's joining. I think holding out for the FSU job would have been a better decision for him, because this time of the year, I think it would have been his. Like say, knowing the area, offense, locality. I think, we know Norvell will not last next season. It'll last 4 or 5 games max where he's been fired. Yeah, he has created this program. He's turned it around from a laughing stock in state to just the minnows that could just picked up the scraps. The low level no star recruits that were left behind by, UCF, Florida, Florida State. They were always kind of like the afterthought being in the American. And yeah, he's come there. He's given them an identity. He's brought in some good players. He's used the portal very well. He's used local, recruits very well. And he's made them an American force to be reckoned with. And this year is the culmination of all the hard work. He's got the best out of one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country, Byron Brown. We always knew he could run, but he's helped him with the throwing, which was always the issue. That program's helped him get better with the arm, become more accurate, more consistent. And yeah, for the most part, most of the way through the year, they were firmly in the playoff race. Still got a shot to end the season very strong. get a bowl game, send multiple players to the draft. Big program, like I say, good stadium, great fan base. Like I say, and the worship, the air, the ground is walked on. Like I say, and for me, like I say, no, it's not confirmed, but Bobby Petrino has put out a statement saying thank you and goodbye, which tells me it's definitely happening. They're working on the deal, the buyout. Shortly now they're going to announce it. But for me, Arkansas feels like the place he's going to go to die. And I know there's like Razorbacks fans here, but I just don't think they have the pull to compete right now in the SEC.
And this is maybe what it is. First off, Duncan Stewart says maybe that was their best form, then he hits .500 and they can him. I mean, maybe he has hit the ceiling at USF, but it kind of feels like they could go a little further. But I guess if Byron Brown doesn't come back, it's going to be difficult, and Jeremiah Koga's going to get poached. It depends. USF can get absolutely poached by Florida. No matter how bad FSU are, Florida are, Miami Hurricanes are, they will always go down to USF and poach whatever they've got. So maybe it's the best. But for Arkansas, the Hogs, they're winless in the SEC this year. They're 0-7, but they have not posted a winning SEC season since 2015. That is a decade without posting even a 5-3.
They're an irrelevant team.
They are, and maybe this is the logic of thinking they're getting a coach who can do more with less, because Golesh has not had the most of the resources to use at USF. He's had to build that team through his recruiting classes and through the bargain bin out of, the transfer portal. He's not had massive amounts of NIL to spend.
And they need to financially back him.
Yeah, I mean, compared to even Arkansas's budget compared to USF must be massive anyhow, but by SEC standards, it's small, but still... Yeah. If they can give him, 10, 15 million to work with in NIL, something like that, or whatever, and he can spread it wisely. Byron Brown has a year of eligibility left, so does he convince...
didn't he, in 2022?
Does he convince Byron to come with him for 1 year to provide...
Byron Brown right now is probably a 6, 7 round draft pick.
Because... let's not forget, Arkansas have thrived off the dual threat quarterback, all the way back to KJ Jefferson, dual threat quarterback, and now they've got Taylon Green, who's sort of a dual threaty type quarterback as well. So Byron Brown fits their profile, what they look for offensively. So maybe he brings his QB with him, but I'm with you. I just don't get Arkansas. I think you could have done something better. However, on the flip side with this, it's always the flip side, right? If he gets it right at Arkansas and he gets a couple of 7-win, 5, 6 SEC win seasons under his belt there, he might have his pick of every single job in the country because, it will prove to people that he can go into the harshest of environments and win. So it's a risk, but risks work both ways, yeah?
Yeah, like I say, if he does surpass expectations, then at his age, like I say, he will open the doors for bigger SEC opportunities. I think Pitt fans just have to be realistic, like I say, with what he's going to do next year. Like I say, I don't even know what a good record looks like. Like I say, overall record is irrelevant. Like I say, it's SEC player. Yeah, like I say,
and when
if he goes 3-4 in the SEC, that's probably a job well done.
Next year it is. Teams. This is the trouble. Vanderbilt have just kind of ruined it for all these other bottom feeders in the FCC. That if people can see Vanderbilt do it, Vanderbilt 7-2 in the SEC this year, I think. Yeah. And people are like, well, if Vanderbilt can go 7-2, Arkansas can go 7-2. Miss State can go 7-2. This is just it shows if you get the right coach and the right players, it can be done, and it's no excuse anymore.
Nope. So yeah, I applaud him for taking on a brave job. Because it's a bare bones team in a cauldron.
It is indeed. Mark Barker goes, just been away for a little bit. Neighbours came by, everyone checking before the storm hits. Thankful for them. Yes, I know there is a massive winter storm approaching.
On the flip side, though, he was never going to get the Florida job.
No.
He was never going to get the Ole Miss job if Lane leaves.
No.
Auburn probably aren't going for him.
Well, he was a favourite for the Ole Miss one, apparently, if he'd have gone, but it depends what Lane does on Saturday.
Yeah, if you wait, like I say, you lose. So I suppose bigger profile teams, there probably wasn't a bigger job for him right now.
Yeah, well, we will see anyhow. But yeah, Golesh goes to Arkansas. And yes, shout out to everyone of our friends over there in the US. A lot of you in the north are about to be hit by a big winter storm, so stay safe, all of you. Stay warm and stay with us, because we love having you with us. So yeah, look after one another. But hope you are well, mile marker, and everybody else. Duncan goes, Arkansas Razorbacks always in the fight, although this season 2-9. Coaching review time. Well, they've got a new coach now. I've always had a soft spot for them because of KG, so hopefully I can go back to having a soft spot for them once more. And then the last bit of news, and mile marker, you've arrived back just in time, because a new contract has been signed this week, right? Tim Polasek, the head coach at North Dakota State, the Bison's head coach, has signed a new 6-year extension with the team, presumably through interest from other teams who've come sniffing around for him, and North Dakota State have gone, nope, we're going to give you a bigger wage, we're going to give you bigger wages for your coaches, and we're going to give you more NIL money to work with in the portal, which is what they've done. And the dynasty keeps its leader eye for a long time going forward. Although, and I will say in brackets, there are a lot of murmurings going round now that North Dakota State are in talks once again with the Mountain West to move up to the FBS, and those calls, according to those in the know, are louder than they have been in recent years, because they've not come to deals with one another. But I mean, one, right, this deal could signalise they're just trying to keep teams away from him. Two, this deal could signalise that they're about to move up and they want to have their franchise stable for when they do so, because it seems that now is probably the time for them to do it, given they're running roughshod over the FCS right now.
I don't think he needed the extension, to be honest. I don't think he was going to take the Oregon State job. If that has pushed them towards it, I think they may have been hoodwinked. I say, because, yeah, I've read, like I say, that a lot of guys, Will Cox is the joint favourite, so Cal, and the Montana State, Vegan, the Montana State coach, like I say, I believe, like I say, was seen as a photo, was apparently in Oregon. Might have actually had an official interview before the playoffs. He's one of the favourites as well. See, I've learned over recent years that it doesn't matter who coaches the Bison. They've gone through a lot of coaches in recent years. Like I say, a lot of coordinators, but interims, and they've all kept the DNA. They always dominate the Fargo door. They never have to worry about recruitment, because every player in the FCS, especially in the state of Dakota, wants to be a Bison. Yeah, like I said, I get tying him down. I think I'm with you, the extension only makes sense if they're finally making the jump. Like I said, they got to join the Mountain West, because, like I said, even if it's not a financial issue, what are you still playing from the FCS these days?
You know, it just feels like
keep winning national titles. Like I say,
it just feels like, you know, you're racing an F1 car against a bunch of, you know, bunch of courses or something like that, and you know you can stop for 10 minutes and then just overtake them again in 5. Like it just feels like you're giving.
Let's not fool ourselves that this Bison team probably wouldn't be straightaway competitive in a terrible Mountain West.
Yeah,
it's not been good this year, has it? Like I said, but yeah.
I mean, it's tight. Let's put it that way. But yeah, it's been everybody beating everybody. So
like I say. We've heard these rumours, haven't we, for years and years. They never materialise in anything. At some point, they've got to make a affirmative decision. Because, I mean, like I said, I think if NDSU, I think they've also probably got to speak of SDSU and say, if we go, we need you to come with us.
Yeah.
We need, like, one of the longest rivalries in collegiate football sports history. Yeah. Like I said, you got to come with us.
There's going to be a bidding war, because the Pac's going to continue to hawk over Mountain West teams. I know the Mountain West has got Northern Illinois coming down this year, but that's not exactly the resume-busting team that you want on your roster, really. No offence to NIU and Ryan there. But anywho,
Montana State, South Dakota State, like I say, North Dakota State. At some point, one of them, and as a pair, because they've both got two of the biggest rivalries in college football, a pair's got to move, and they're going to go to the same conference. It's going to be a buy one, get one free deal. You ain't splitting them up.
Yeah, indeed. Right, so yeah, that's it. Tim Polasek, a new 6-year deal at North Dakota State. Right, we're going to move on. That is the news we're going to go through for now. I don't think there's anything else head coaching-wise for the time being. Obviously, as other moves happen, we will get to it. Right, we are going to move on next to the FCS Playoffs. Selection Sunday was on the Sunday just gone, and the 24-team field has been set. 11 conference champions joined by 13 at-large committee picks, and the dealio has been done. Conference representation is as follows. There are 6 teams in from the Missouri Valley Football Conference, home of the NDSU Bison, amongst others. We have 3 teams from the Big Sky, the Coastal Athletic Association, and the Southland. You've got 2 teams from the Ivy League and the United Athletic Conference, and then you've got 1 team each from the Northeast, the Ohio Valley / Big South, the Patriot, the Pioneer, and the Southern Conference. As in terms of how the season finished, the conference champions were as follows. The Big Sky was won by the Montana State Bobcats. The Coastal Athletic Association was won by the Rhode Island Rams. The Ivy League was won by the Yale Bulldogs. The Missouri Valley was, of course, won by North Dakota State. The Northeast was won by Central Connecticut State, the Blue Devils. The Ohio Valley was won by Tennessee Tech, the Golden Eagles. The Patriot was won by the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. The Pioneer by the Drake Bulldogs. Southern by the Mercer Bears. The Southland by the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks. And the UAC was won by the Abilene Christian Wildcats. In terms of teams who will not be going this year, Richmond, the Spiders, and Idaho, the Vandals. This will be the first time for both teams in 4 years they are not involved. And then the teams that were snubbed out of it, Southern Illinois, they were snubbed as potentially a 7th Missouri Valley side to make it in. Monmouth appears to have been the big one. Everyone shot by 9-3, but they were not let in. Northern Arizona, Austin Peay, Southern Utah, and Lafayette were the noticeable omissions from that. In terms of the 24 teams who will be going, so there's 3 lots of them. You've got the 1 to 8 seeds, you've got the 9 to 16 seeds, and then you've got the other 8 teams. So seeding wise, number 1, North Dakota State Bison. Number 2, the Montana State Bobcats. Number 3, the Montana Grizz. Number 4, the Tarleton State Texans. Number 5, the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Number 6, the Mercer Bears. Number 7, the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks. And number 8, the UC Davis Aggies. The top 8, they get a bye in round 1, and they get home games in round 2. First off, we'll start with the first 8 seeds there, Rye. Quite a varied field here. There was a lot of shock that Tennessee Tech 13-1 didn't get one of those. What do you make of the top 8 seeds that were made who get the buys for this? And any comments on teams who didn't make it?
It's hard to argue with the top 8. Like I say, Tarleton State, they started the season, like I say, one of the best teams in all the country. Like I say, 3/4 of the season, until they slipped up late on. Lehigh did a great job of winning the conference, like I say, against a very dangerous opponent in their deciding game. Came out on top for powerful offense. UC Davis, not as good as last year. Like I say, the Aggies lost talent. Like I said, they did a good job of, like I say, making the tournament. Like I say, Montana State, like I say, well, I'll talk about the game later, but firmly divide by 2. Firmly believe it, like I say, going to Washington Grizzly Stadium and you beat the undefeated team in the country on their home turf in front of their home fans. You've got every right to jump them. 7, Stephen F. Austin, great year. Like I say, it's one of those stories where you're potentially talking about a potential underdog. So I'm a firm believer in, like I said, that they could do something this year. Mercer, they were the first team, I believe, to get their auto bid. But they're 6th, but the conference is weak. That's in the Mercer Bears. They rolled through it, like you say, with like 2 or 3 weeks to spare. They'd already had the auto bid. So, I mean, I don't trust them to go that far. Montana, when the pressure was on them, they couldn't defend their home field. Rightly 3. Like I say, I mean, some people probably would have dropped them behind Tarleton State, like I say, just pure like disappointment. But yeah, it'll be interesting, like I say. So, I don't know. Am I surprised that they got 2 teams from the Ivy League? I am. I was expecting just the champion to get through. And going forward, how they do in the first round may determine if we get to Ivy League teams ever again.
Yeah, there were a few.
It's a big game. Like say, Harvard, like say, had controlled the whole season. Like say, when it really came down to it, and like say that auto bid, Yale just like say stepped up and looked like they wanted more and hungry. The Crimson let themselves down. They were flat in that deciding game.
Yeah, there were a few conferences that benefit this. The Southlands only had one the last 2 years, I think. They got 3 this year, so they've been...
Fantastic record and 13, but I suppose it's got to be level of competition.
And the only loss is to Kentucky, so it's a tough one.
Strength of wins and that, there isn't enough quality, I suppose, on the resume to put them that high.
No, indeed.
So comparing this year and last year, though, the team that's totally in dark, like I say, SDSU, like I say, top 2 ranking last year, down at 14 this year. Had an horrible end to the season. I think it was 3 straight losses.
4.
It was 4 in the end, yeah, like I say. And a lot of people were like, if it wasn't them and they were such a big program, should have ranked them lower.
Yeah, absolutely you should. So yeah, we've had the 1 to 8 seeds, the 9 to 16 seeds. Number 9 are the Rhode Island Rams, 10 the Abilene Christian Wildcats, 11 the South Dakota Coyotes, 12 the Villanova Wildcats, 13 the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles, 14 the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. They're not used to playing on Thanksgiving week. 15 we got the Youngstown State Penguins. 16, we've got the Southeastern Louisiana Lions, the 9 to 16 seeds. They get home advantage in round 1, and then it depends on seeding going forward. In terms of the other 8 teams who made it but were not seeded, these teams will all play on the road in the first round. You got the Illinois State Redbirds, we got the Central Connecticut State Blue Devils, the Harvard Crimson, the North Dakota Fighting Hawks, the New Hampshire Wildcats, the Drake Bulldogs, the Lamar Cardinals, and the Yale Bulldogs. So in terms of newcomers, Yale and Harvard, as Ryan mentioned, they are making their FCS playoff debuts, with the Ivy League now eligible for the first time ever. And then in terms of teams who've not made it recently, i.e. not in the 2020s, Tennessee Tech, they're making their first appearance since 2011, and Lamar are making their first appearance since 2018. Out of teams who have got to the playoffs before, Central Connecticut, Tennessee Tech, Drake, and Lamar have yet to register an FCS playoff victory. And then out of the others, Abilene Christian, Tarleton State, and North Dakota only have one FCS playoff win, but Tarleton State have only been up at the FCS since 2021, so can't really blame that on them there. In terms of the top 5 total offenses going into the playoffs, Montana State boasts the best total offense in FCS at number 1, North Dakota State at 2, Lehigh at 3, Youngstown State at 4, and Tarleton State at 5. And then total defense, the top 5, North Dakota State at 1, Stephen F. Austin at 2, Tennessee Tech at 3, North Dakota at 4, and Lehigh at 5. So we have 2 teams in the playoffs who are sporting top 5 offenses and defenses. Not surprisingly, North Dakota State in there, but then Lehigh, the Mounted Hawks, number 3 offense, number 5 defense, a very balanced team coming out of the Patriot League there. Potentially going to be a tough draw for somebody.
Yeah, like I say, it's Lehigh have an incredibly good year. Like I say, their defense was susceptible against Lafayette in the deciding game. They did chip 32. They've blown everyone away. Like I say, the team that really struggled against the rest of the season was Penn from the Ivy League, but everyone else, like I said, they've not really had any trouble this year. But the problem is, though, we know how weak the Patriot League is. So that later in later rounds, is that going to come back to bite them? I would imagine, yeah. Because only 2 teams in the Patriot League had a winning record in conference. The other 6 teams all had a losing record. So they were kind of just scrapping between each other. So yeah, coming out of Patriot League usually isn't very indicative of a team that can make a late run.
No, and as a good segue into that, I've got the teams who have faced the hardest schedule by opponent record coming into the playoffs. Montana State are number one. Their combined opponents were .563. South Dakota State was .559. South Dakota was .535. Yale .519. Lamar 5.14 and Abilene Christian .504. No one else faced a schedule that had teams above 500 there. So, as you can say, the Dakota's not had the best years, but I guess more trial by fire there. But the Ivy League team, Yale, they've had a tough schedule getting here as well, right? But then Montana State by far, they've had the hardest one.
Yeah, like I say, but that's the belly of the beast. It's the Big Sky. Like I say, it is. If you look top to bottom of conference, in conference play, it's by far one of the hardest. Like I say, it is pretty brutal, and it's one of those where every week everyone can beat everyone, and for most of the conferences, unfortunately, you simply can't say that. There's a lot of conferences where you say they're fairly weak, but yeah, I mean, the Ivy League as a collective, it's not very strong. Like I say, there are a couple of standout teams. Like I say, I hope the auto bid, like I say, can't drop. Like I say, is an incentive to go to an Ivy League school.
Yeah.
The football as a whole, the brand, it's not great. In recent years, their champion probably have still been blown away at times.
Yeah, they probably would have. Speaking of the weakest schedules by opponent record, Harvard faced a combined opponent record of .425. Rhode Island, it was .397. Tarleton State, .386. Tennessee Tech, .374. And right at the bottom, Southeastern Louisiana, the Lions, ranked at 16, faced common opponents with a record of .369. I mean, can't draw everything from it, but you can draw some things in there. Some of these teams, like you say, they get in through easier conferences, and sometimes it will show going forward.
This is why the champion only gets in. Nobody else in most of them conferences deserves a look in.
Nope.
Because, like I say, they would just water down the process.
Exactly. Some notes about some of the teams here. Tarleton State, as I mentioned, ranked 4. They've only been in the FCS for 5 years, sporting an 11-1 record with the scalp of Army this year, a team that no one might really want to face.
Tarleton State, their rushing offense is
insane. It's insane. Number 5, Lehigh. This is their first top 8 seed in school history. This is going to be their first home playoff game since 2004, and the only other team next to North Dakota State who can proudly boast they went unbeaten this season. They've got a 3-headed monster at running back, right? Lehigh, 2-star running backs and a rushing quarterback. I think they average 34 points a game, something stupid like that. I know it is what it is, but they've broken some boundaries this year. First ever top 8 seed for them. First home playoff game in the year. People won't want to go there and play them with that rushing attack.
No, like I say, it's certainly not an easy place to go. And 12-game win streak, perfect at home, on away. They're just incredibly well-built, well-coached team that has no problem, like say, getting on a flight or a long coach and travelling. So the home field advantage to them is great, but on the road they'll be just as dangerous. So they're certainly one of the teams to watch. They're probably the more intriguing team because, like say, you look at their record and, like say, they never have to play the big teams.
No.
But now they're going to get a chance in a precious seat. We're going to see how good they really are, or are they just a product of the Patriot League? Because we saw often when Holy Cross were good, like I say, they'd get to the playoffs and they would hit a roadblock immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have to see what happens there. Number 7.
The teams, like I say, that I am looking at straight away, notable missing from the playoffs this year. One is Monmouth. They have got one of the best. They entered the portal yesterday. One of the best running back and wide receiver combinations in all of football. Like I say, they're not there. William and Mary Tribe. Usually, you'd have a good chance at seeing them there. Like I say, it's a lot of teams that a big
Idaho,
franchise or big
after
team.
what Idaho did to Oregon earlier this year, the fact
Idaho,
they're not
like
there is
say, they're not
crazy.
there.
Or is it UNLV they played? Sorry, weren't it Idaho this year? They ran UNLV close.
Idaho State, Idaho State gets 38-35. But yeah, like I say Idaho, the Vandals last year were an elite team. Fell off the face of the earth this year.
Richmond not there. Some of the other bits. Number 7, Stephen F. Austin. It is their first 10-win season since 2009, so this was a big year for them. But we've got a couple of big home streaks intact. Number 9, Rhode Island, 14-game win streak at home. They've had a 1,000-yard rusher receiver combo 2 years in a row now. They'd never had one ever in school history until last season, and now they've done it 2 years in a row. Villanova, number 12, they are sporting the longest active home winning record in the FCS right now at 22 games. Number 13, Tennessee Tech. They are joint leaders in the FCS on sacks with 45, which is crazy, so don't keep them out there. And then, right, we've got a couple of teams led by true freshman phenoms. Number 6, Mercer, led by Braden Atkinson. This year, in his true freshman year, he has thrown 68% completion for 3,456 yards, and he has a touchdown to interception ratio of 34-7, which is basically 5-1. And then UC Davis are fronted by Caden Pinnock. He's throwing at 70% this year. He's got 2,500 passing yards with a 24-8 touchdown to interception ratio, which is 3-1, and he's a rushing quarterback as well, per se. I mean, the FCS, I guess sometimes it's a little easier for these true freshmen, but we're seeing some true stars come into it this year, the first year of their career, who we might see in the FBS going forward. But Mercer's especially, what a breakout there.
Yeah, like I say, the Bears are definitely an up-and-coming program. Like I say, they've got a young man at the helm. Like I say, he's taken that conference by storm. They've, like I say, announced themselves as they're the top dog right now over there. And like I say, they could be there for a long time with this young man that's been very impressive. But yeah, I watched a game this year with Caden Pinnock, like I say, and he's replacing one of the best QBs they've had in program history. And this young man's got to step in and fill some of the biggest shoes in the country. He's doing very well. He's only like 6 foot, like 200 pounds. Not a big guy at all, like I say, but he's very physical, tough runner. Like I say, he's very good at the air. But ultimately for me, it's the fact that there's so few turnover worthy players. He protects the ball like a junior or a senior veteran. Doesn't take very few risks, but incredibly efficient. Like I say, these two guys definitely names to watch going forward. FCS level, but also as probably potential G5 grad transfers later down the line as potential FBS guys as well.
Absolutely, there is. Marmarker likes the ticker message. Yeah, I forgot to put some stuff down today, so I came up with that there. But I thought I've got to get my jab in at Ash somehow, because I'm not going to have a chance to talk about that game today, because we've got so much else to talk about. Right, Ryan McCluskey, are you ready to fill in your bracket?
I think so.
You think so? Last year he got 5 of the 8 first round games, so he did well, and he did get one of the finalists. You would have predicted the other one got there, so you were close with it, but you got the wrong Dakota State last year. So let's see. So we're going to start this bracket. The first round, I'm going to do it left to right. First up, at home, the number 16 ranked Southeastern Louisiana Lions playing against the Illinois State Redbirds for the, I'd say, pleasure or pain of going to the Fargo Dome to play North Dakota State. Ryan, who are you giving that dubious honour to?
Well, this one straight away is, I think Southeastern are losing. Illinois State has got a good offense. They've got one of the best takeaway defensive units in the FCS. Plenty of interceptions, like I say, they can keep a team ball. And in recent weeks, Southeastern Louisiana has not done a great job of passing the ball. So I think ultimately the Redbirds defense steps up and it can probably halt the Southeastern Louisiana offense. So that'll be a close one. Like I say, probably a low scorer, but I'm going to take the Redbirds for what will be the first upset.
Alrighty. Oh, next up we have the number 9 Rhode Island Rams at home to the Central Connecticut Blue Devils. This is for the honour of a chance to go and play the UC Davis Aggies. What do we have, Rams or Blue Devils?
Unfortunately, this is only going one way. Like I said, the dominant Rhode Island offense, like I say, led by a feature back that I say is boasting a 6-7 game win streak nationally. Like I say, they've defended their home territory for 2 years. And like I say, Central Connecticut State, coming from a weaker conference, I can't see them coming in really and offering much in the hope of pulling off what would be an immense upset. So yeah, Rhode Island should win that fairly comfortably.
Alright, next up we have the number 12 Villanova team at home against Harvard, first of the Ivy League teams to make their debut in the FCS playoffs, and this is for the opportunity to go and play on the road against Lehigh. Who have we got? We have Wildcats, or do we have the Crimson?
Yeah, so this is my first big call. This is the Harvard Crimson. Now, before the Yale decider, so if you take out that game, they've only given up less than 100 yards on the ground in every game this season and under 200 yards passing. Before the Yale game, their defense has been dominant. At, like I say, stopping there, it's one of the most efficient defenses in all the country. And I think they can slow down the Villanova offense and then pick on them offensively. I'm saying in a less than 3-point game, Harvard pick up one of their biggest wins in program history and get a massive first round upset.
Alright, and to finish off this side of the bracket, we have Tennessee Tech, the Golden Eagles, ranked 13 at home to North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks. Tennessee, both teams only ever won one FCS playoff game. Tennessee Tech back for the first time in some time. This is for the honour of travelling to Tarleton State, the number 4 ranked team. Who have we got, Tennessee Tech or North Dakota?
This is a hard one. Like I say, because I like everything Tennessee Tech does. But then, like I say, I look at a team coming out of the Missouri Valley Conference that came third, which is still pretty good. And for what is me, rivals the Big Sky is the best one. Tennessee Tech will win a shootout. Tennessee Tech's going to go, I say, one of the best offenses in the country. I think North Dakota will keep pace, but I think Tech will just outscore them.
Alright, so is that half the bracket done? We move to the other side, and we've got the other Ivy League team. So we've got Youngstown State, the Penguins, ranked 15 at home to Yale. Is it double Ivy League trouble, or is only one of them getting through?
Right, well, I'm going to pair this with my offensive player of the playoffs to watch, and it happens to be the Youngstown State quarterback. So Bo Brungard, the junior, 6 foot 215, first team All Missouri Valley Conference last year. Now listen to these numbers this year: 69% completion, 2,900 yards, 10th in the FCS, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 154 QB rating, 225 carries for 1,378 yards and 24 rushing touchdowns.
Bloody
he is
hell.
The finalist for the Walter Payton, the FCS Heisman. For me, he's probably the winner. He is, like I say, one of the most dominant dual threat quarterbacks in all the country. Like I said, the turnover to interception ratio is just absolutely insane. So for me, yeah, like I said, 15. I'm sorry, Yale, I like you, but you'll have no answer for this QB on the day. Like I say, they are a juggernaut on offense, this guy. Like I say, puts on a big show, probably wins the Walter Payton and wraps it up. But credit to Yale, they've held every opponent that wasn't Lehigh under 30 points this season. Their defense is very good, and their offensive line is very good. So they will make Youngstown work for it, but in the end, the Penguins will just have too much for them.
And Youngstown State's reward for that will be a trip to play Montana State. But good grief, those are Madden numbers that guy is putting up there. It's
47
crazy.
touchdowns and 3 interceptions all year.
Oh my word. Well, there's a name for you to watch out for. We'll revisit him shortly. Number 10, Abilene Christian at home against the Lamar Cardinals, who seem to have been the one that everybody has been critiquing as shouldn't be in the playoffs. Maybe at the expense of some of the others. But are the Cardinals going to shock the Wildcats at home, Rye, or is Abilene Christian going to get it done?
You can make a very fair case that Lamar ending the season on a 1-3 record probably doesn't belong here. But that's, like I say, Abilene Christian ended on a 4-game win streak. This is the ultimate trap game. A team that doesn't deserve to be here on terrible form against a team that has been dominating at home. Do you know what? I'm going to say Lamar get their shit together and cause the biggest upset of the FCS playoffs.
Oh my word.
Out Abilene Christian.
There we go.
I'm fully going to regret that, but I say that would just shut up a lot of people if they managed to pull that off.
Okay, the Lamar Cardinals progress and they will go to the number 7 ranked Stephen F. Austin. Next up, we've got 11, South Dakota. The Coyotes playing against the Drake Bulldogs. They are Bulldogs. Coyotes, Bulldogs. Vicious, teethy, growly things. Who've we got?
It won't even be close. They've already played each other this year, and it was lopsided. Drake caught all the candles, unfortunately. They've already lost 42-21 in a regular season. I'd expect at least a 2-3 score win by South Dakota again.
Okay, and their reward will be a trip to number 6, Mercer. And then the last one of the first round, we got number 14, South Dakota State. Not used to being in this situation of having to play in the first round. They are usually a top 8 seed and they get a bye week. And they've got to welcome a very dangerous New Hampshire side into their fold. And their reward, even if they do win this one, is a trip to Bozeman to play Montana. South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, are they going to make the committee regret putting them in despite their bad form, or will they get their stuff together against New Hampshire?
I don't know. I look at this like, say, they could have got a lot harder matchup. I think this is a favourable ranking because I just don't feel like that New Hampshire will cause them that much trouble. I know SDSU is having quarterback issues right now, but I still think on their day their defense has got more than enough to get this job done. So it won't be pretty. Like I say, in recent weeks they have struggled. Like I say, and they've had some notable losses. Like I say, they have struggled this year, but yeah, I think they squeak past New Hampshire off the back of a defensive performance.
Alrighty, then. So that is the first round done. Let's move straight on to the second round and we go back to the start of the board again. And now this is where the North Dakota State Bison come into play, and they have a home game against the Illinois State Redbirds, who you've put through to play them. Any sort of chance of an upset here, Rye, or is this going to go one way and one way only?
None whatsoever, unfortunately.
Okay. Dokes, we will put North Dakota State through there against Illinois State. And then who is going to be playing them? Very tasty matchup here. Number 8, UC Davis at home against number 9, Rhode Island in your bracket. 8v9, right? We got Aggies or Rams?
UC Davis have struggled this year. Good in conference, but they're 4-1 at home, so I think they can probably make this home form work just about. Probably, yeah, they'll squeak out an ugly home win against Rhode Island.
So you've got UC Davis making it to the quarterfinals. There we go. In the other side of this bracket, we've got number 5, Lehigh at home against your Harvard Crimson. Do the Ivy League go any further, or do they meet their maker in the Mountain Hawks?
Oh yeah, Harvard get blown out.
All right. I don't know who's. I'm going to have to wait here and see who's at home, because this will be a seeding thing. And then the other one. So who's going to be playing Lehigh? We've got number 4, Tarleton State at home against number 13 Tennessee Tech. Do the Golden Eagles carry on, or do Tarleton State go to town?
This is a... I'll say Tarleton State win that one fairly comfortably being at home. I think their offense might have a bit too much for Tennessee Tech. I know they've got the best ones, but I feel like they're going to come up against a defense that they've probably not seen the likes of this year.
Alright, so we just need to get the home team in right there. That is that side of the bracket. On the other side, we're going to have number 2 Montana State at home against number 15 Youngstown State. You've just raved lyrical about the Penguins QB. Can he cause the ultimate shock against the number 2 team in the country?
Nope, he's coming up against like the best defense in the country. Montana State firmly handle business in that sense.
Alright, and as the 2 seed...
Actually, well, I might as well tell you, I've got my defensive player of the botch the playoffs is Montana State.
Okay,
so,
go for
Hayden Dowler, the junior strong safety, hometown kid from Billings, Montana. So he's had quite a week. So he's one of the best defensive backs in the whole nation. He was elected to be a 2025 captain. Last week he had a crucial pick 6 in the Brawl of the Wilds to beat Montana at home and win the Big Sky outright. And today he won the Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year award with 77 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 4 passes defended, a sack, 2 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions and 2 defensive touchdowns. By far the most dominant player in the conference, and for me probably the best player in all of FCS defensively right now. He is the quarterback of the defense. He's definitely a name to watch for the draft cycle if he does decide to declare this year or not. But knowing him and knowing them guys, they do like to usually see all of it, depending on if they do win national title or not. Could be back for his senior year, but at some point will be a high-profile safety name to watch in the NFL draft. But yeah, best player, just won the award for the conference, and will make his presence felt very quickly, especially in these playoffs as well. Like I say, wouldn't surprise me if he adds to that ever-growing total of defensive touchdowns and turnovers.
So Ryan's offensive and defensive players to watch in the SC playoffs will be
They will play each other.
They will play each other, hopefully, unless Yale pull out the shock of all shocks. Thank you, Duncan, for joining this evening. He goes, he's got a jet. Have a nice evening. Hope you're good, and appreciate you joining us. So who's going to be playing Montana State? We've got number 7, Stephen F. Austin, at home against the shocking Lamar Cardinals, who will have taken down Abilene Christian. Can it be 2 shocks in a row for the Cards, or is this as far as they go?
That will be as far as they go, unfortunately. Stephen F. Austin will win that one. Pretty handiwork.
Alright, and then got to fill out the last quarter-final. We've got number 6, the Mercer Bears, will make their FCS playoff appearance against number 11, the South Dakota Coyotes. Who have you got there?
That's a difficult one. I think South Dakota could pull that upset off. I think, even a middling Big Sky team, they will pose a serious threat to the Mercer Bears out of that conference they're in. So yeah, I'll take South Dakota to take the upset in that one.
All right, and then who will they be playing? We have number 3, Montana, at home against number 14, South Dakota State. Are we really predicting the Jackrabbits are going to go this far after the season they've had, or are the team that you have predicted to stand up against North Dakota State all this time, will they win this one?
Montana will destroy them. They are the most pissed off team in the country right now, and they've only got their eyes set on one team. Like I say, yeah, they will make light work of them. I can never pronounce the quarterback's name. Akiat, AH YAT.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best QBs in the country. And Eric Gilman, their star running back. Like I say, and nobody likes to go to Washington Grizzly Stadium.
No.
I'm pretty sure it was snowing last week. Good chance it will be sub-zero temperatures.
Alright, Rightio, that is your quarterfinals. Let's make the semi-finals a date. We've got number 1 North Dakota State, who will be at home in this scenario against the number 8 UC Davis Aggies. Is there any danger in this one again of the Bison, Rye?
Nope, unfortunately not.
Alright, and they will be the home team because they are the highest seeded team, so that makes it easy for me. But who in this side of the draw is going to meet them in the semi-final? Number 4 Tarleton State at home against number 5 Lehigh.
This is one of those where you're kind of splitting hairs. This will be the first game where we work out how good they are. Lehigh.
It's the newcomers. Tarleton State only been up 4 years against Lehigh, who've been around, but maybe not the level of competition. 4 versus 5. We've flummoxed him.
Tarleton State in a shootout will just edge them.
He is going number 4 Tarleton State, and what a rise that would be for them after only been in for 4 years in the FCS. They book a date with NDSU, and on the other side of the bracket, dare I even ask here, are we just predicting a Brawl of the Wild semi-final? No offence. Montana State at home to Stephen F. Austin and Montana at home to South Dakota. Is that the way you're heading?
Should we just skip? Yeah, we'll skip ahead and just say Montana get the ultimate revenge and dump out Montana State at Montana State, because they'll be at home, won't they? They do to them what they did to them last week.
Is that your...
The Grizz are making the championship, and they're going to do it in the most perfect style possible.
Right, so this is moving on pretty quick now. So we've got one side of our bracket. We have Montana, the Grizz making it, yeah?
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the bracket, we have number 1 North Dakota State at home to number 4 Tarleton State. Is there any stopping the Bison for Tarleton State?
No. The Bison just have too much. So
and this is the game...
We're going to have a 1v3 national championship.
This is the game you've been predicting for some time, actually. When I asked you months ago about who could stand up to them, you immediately said Montana, the Grizz. And that's it. We're down to the final, North Dakota State, Montana. That will be neutral ground. It's at Vanderbilt Stadium this year, is it?
Yeah,
I want to say it's at Vandy.
It was always Frisco, but...
Yeah,
moved it.
I want to say it's at Vandy this year. I could be wrong, but
it's always been in Frisco, but they've decided to now move alternating venues.
They have. So we got number 1 North Dakota State against number 3 Montana in the FCS Championship game in early December. Right, who are you crowning as your champion of the FCS in 2025? Technically 2026. And Mile Marker is listening, so take that on board. He says Bison cruising. Yes, they have been. Whilst Ryan thinks about this, as soon as we've got this one done, we are going to move on to the FBS conference, the scenarios that can happen in regards to what's going on
the Grizz
with them in their championship games. Oh my days! There we have
this year
it.
Beat North Dakota, who took NDSU all the way. They've already taken down a big sky. They've already taken down an MVS big boy. They can compete with them when they need to.
There we have it. The bracket is in. It is set. And Ryan McCluskey, resident FCS legend here, says the Montana Grizz are going to upset the North Dakota State Bison in the FCS Championship game. We shall keep an eye on how his bracket does as time goes on. So this time next week, the first round will have happened, so we can adjust as we go along.
If I'm wrong and everything's wrong,
we're going to have to start from scratch, and I'm going to have to draw this board out
oh my
all
God,
again.
Frank McNair is retiring.
What?
He's back.
Is that what Ryan said?
Yeah, Ari Merov has tweeted it. He's unretiring, he's back.
Oh my days!
He's still under contract, right?
Oh, Frank Ragnow is back for the Detroit Lions right as we're on air. Oh my days! He's coming back for the playoffs.
Oh wow! Someone's made a call.
Oh my
I need
days!
to know who initiated that talks. That is mad.
Oh my lord! Breaking news.
We need to stay focused.
Just breaking Lions news. Frank Ragnow has unretired. Oh my god! What the hell is that? That is. Oh my days! Hang on, I've just got to very quickly go to Twitter.
I could shed a tear. That is a game changer.
Oh, Frank is home.
He's had enough fishing.
He stood it in the middle.
The toes are okay. He's got bored of fishing. He's bored at home.
Oh, Frank.
Even if it's just like, say, gives us 5 games or a playoff run, that's all I ask of him.
I don't care if it's just for half a season. Frank Ragnow
that's all I ask of him. If he just does end the season, like you say.
The rest of the NFC North, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed now. Frank's back.
He has kept himself in game shape, no doubt.
Oh yeah, he will have. He will not be coming back if he's not in shape to play, because he will not want to hurt himself. And imagine that toe's got to be a lot better now. He's probably had surgery on it, tried to helpfully fix it, done lots of fishing, so those arms are going to be nice and bulky. Oh. And right at the right time as well. We just finished the FCS playoff stuff. Frank Ragnow is back. Unreal. Probably going to have to hurry this along now, because Matt will not want to do a hurry stream for it. But yeah, that is incredible. Right, FCS playoffs is all done and dusted. Headline, the Montana Grizz are going to win it. Now we're going to move on to the FBS and championship games. Scenarios, what are going to happen this week. So as we've mentioned, only one team is guaranteed a championship game spot so far, and that's James Madison, who feels like they've been confirmed for like the last 10 weeks. Nobody else is in there, so we're going to go conference by conference on what can happen this week, right? So we're starting in the ACC. Virginia, SMU and Pitt are all 6-1 in conference, followed by Georgia Tech, Duke and Miami, who are all 2-loss teams. But all 6 teams have a route to the championship game. Now, the most obvious of these things, Virginia and SMU, if all 3 win, Virginia, SMU and Pitt, then Virginia and SMU are in the Atlantic Coastal Championship game. Pittsburgh are in if they win, and they just need one of Virginia or SMU to lose. Virginia are in their rivalry game as well. Of course, for the 2-loss teams, they're going to need 2 of Virginia, SMU and Pitt to lose, and then hope they're the right ones to get in terms of tie breakers. But it looks like it's probably down to 3, Ryan. If we were going to say there were 3 ACC championship contenders this year, I'm not sure we'd have had any of these 3 teams in there, which kind of goes to show it's been a mess, but some teams have risen out of it, and we could see some cracking games here.
Yeah, like I said, the ACC, the landscape has just been, it's been phenomenal, right? It's tossed, it's turned all year. Like you say, at some point you thought it was a lock. Like you say, teams that have fallen away, some have emerged. It makes for a fascinating, like I said with you, it makes it very interesting going forward, because some real dark horses that would absolutely make very... I mean, I would not want to go to a few of these teams in the playoffs. Like I say, they've got some intimidating home factors. Like I say, the crowd, their fan bases. This, like I say, could go a lot of ways, and I'm absolutely fascinated by this. I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm liking Virginia right now. They are ending the season strong.
Yeah, I want Pitt to get in. because I like Pitt. I like what they're about. I like a lot of their draft prospects there. Give me a Virginia-Pitt final out of that. But
I would like to see that as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think Virginia-Pitt would be a very exciting one. So, but yeah, the ACC, still 6 teams who can get in there. In the American, we've got North Texas, Tulane, and Navy, who are all 6-1, and right behind them we've got South Florida and East Carolina, who are 5-2. So this is a bit more confusing. So you've got 3 teams tied at the top at the minute. North Texas have head-to-head over Navy, but that only applies in a tie between them 2 if they both lose and Tulane win. Because if it's a 3-way tie, head-to-head goes out the window because they have not all played one another. So you have to start separating it by other means. If head-to-head is not in play, college football playoff ranking is next. That favours Tulane because Tulane are ranked right now. Neither of the others are, and they may not be. After that, it goes to various computer rankings, etc. So you would expect them all to win. Navy have the hardest game against Memphis this week. North Texas and Tulane have kind of gimmies, but I mean, we expected the American to be tough this year, Ryan. Again, it's shown 5 excellent teams up there. I mean, Army and Memphis are not even in this equation. And it's going right to the death, and this is going to be, put up or shut up. It's been incredibly competitive. It's been great, and this is probably where the playoff team is going to come from.
Yeah. My head says the playoff team comes from here. My heart says it comes from somewhere else. But no, it's more likely coming from here. Like I say, Navy is the front runner. But like I say, they've got the biggest obstacle in their way right now. A team that has been very tricky for everyone all year. I love the American. Like I say, the American is a fun conference. It deserves to be the team that's going to send the team to the playoffs because it's top to bottom. Like I say, it's an incredibly strong conference, and it's been a very interesting one all year to watch out. Like I say, I think Navy get the job done.
Yeah,
I'd be very surprised if they don't get the job done. So I'd be disappointed if they came this way and fell short. But yeah, but then you look at, then you're thinking like say Sumrall, what a way to end the Tulane reign if could get them into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But also like say North Texas. I mean, there's so many different storylines and plots that could play out right now. You could have a service team in the playoffs. You could have Drew Mester make a Heisman final and win North Texas playoff game, and then it all depart, like say, off into the sunset together. So yeah, there are no losers. Whichever 2 teams make a title game, we are in for one of the best title games in the country. It's
been a pleasure watching the American this year, an absolute pleasure. The Big 12 up next. Texas Tech and BYU 7-1. Utah and Arizona State are at 6-2. This is also a little convoluted. Texas Tech and BYU are in with wins or an Arizona State loss, because Utah have lost to both Texas Tech and BYU. So if Arizona State lose, Texas Tech and BYU are in regardless. But Texas Tech and BYU can just get in with wins. Arizona State can get in with a win, and they're playing their rivalry game this week, and a BYU loss. Or a win and losses for Texas Tech and Utah. Utah can get in, but they need a win, they need a Texas Tech loss, and they need a BYU and an Arizona State win because they win a 3-way tie out of that scenario. So the Big 12 is, again, it's not set in stone. There's a lot that can happen. Anybody can beat anybody, and Texas Tech have got West Virginia at home this week, but still 4 very good teams that could make this title game right. It doesn't feel like this is set in stone, Texas Tech at BYU. I have this ominous feeling there is one twist left in the tale to be told.
Yeah, this is one of those where Texas Tech have run it all year. Like I say, it's been in their hands all year. And like I say, they should have, could have, like I say, think like they're going to wrap it up. But I'm with you. It feels like there's a sting in the tail, and I feel like that sting in the tail is the Utah Utes. Like I say, they feel like if anyone can upset the apple cart, it's them.
You are absolutely not going to say anything positive about Jeff Sims, are you? You are not going to say...
No, don't get me wrong. I think Arizona blow out Arizona State. They're 2.5 favourites, Arizona. Like I say, they've got end the season strong. I think the Wildcats will upset them.
I love this commitment to the bit. You keep predicting they're going to lose and they keep proving you wrong. So Ryan is...
I think right now, like I say, Arizona are the strong team. I think they're a much stronger team right now than ASU. Dealing with injuries, playing really well, their defence, like I say. I think the Wildcats, like I say, on a 4-game win streak, they're one of the best teams in the Big 12 right now. Like I say, but it should be
Utah need an Arizona State win, so if you lose, then Utah are boned.
Like I say, I'm calling Utah. I'm calling Holy War Big 12 Championship. Could you imagine?
Good Lord.
Could you imagine Twitter, how ugly it was for the regular season game?
Lord almighty. So for that, we need...
Fighting in lumps.
For that, we need... we need Utah to win, Texas Tech to lose to West Virginia, and BYU and Arizona State to win. That would be crazy, but the Big 12 is mad. Mark goes, guys, the Lions channels are going nuts. I know they're going nuts. You know, I would do it, but we're in the middle of our show at the minute. It's the worst thing that could happen to us at this point. But hey-ho, we carry on, and maybe we'll do some frank stuff at the end. The Big 10. This is confusing in terms of what could happen. Ohio State and Indiana are 8-0. Oregon and Michigan are 7-1. So this is very simple in some regards. If Ohio State and Indiana both win this weekend, they are both in. All Indiana need is an Ohio State win. If Ohio State win, Indiana go to the title game. This all goes crazy if Michigan win the game, and then everything is in play. So these are the scenarios and the title games we could have outside of Ohio State, Indiana, if Michigan win. So if Michigan beat Ohio State and Indiana and Oregon both win, then we are going to get an Indiana against Oregon Big Ten title game. If Michigan beat Ohio State, Indiana win, and Oregon lose, we are going to get an Indiana versus Michigan Big Ten championship game. If Michigan beat Ohio State, Oregon win, and Indiana lose, then we're going to get a Michigan versus Oregon Big Ten title game. And then the final one, if Michigan beat Ohio State and Oregon and Indiana both lose, we're going to get a repeat. It will be a Michigan versus Ohio State Big Ten championship game, and they'll play each other 2 weeks in a row. I mean, the craziness here, Rye, doesn't happen unless Michigan upset Ohio State, which seems incredibly unlikely this year. But it seems like it's going to be Ohio State, Indiana. Do you have do you think it might not work that way? Are we going to get some crazy? If Ohio State lose, everything is on the table.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to work out. Like I said, do I really think that Michigan can win the game? I'm just looking at... No, it's can Bryce Underwood win the game? I know their run game can, but that Ohio State D-line, is it Curry that's really kicked up?
Caden Curry, Caden McDonald.
You've got Arvell Reese, the best linebacker in the country.
Yeah.
Buddy Styles. You've got Davison Igbinison that I had in mid-season mock draft. That's now at like a 91 PFF grade. One of the best DBs in the country. I just can't see anywhere, apart from, like, say, dominating the run game in the trenches, that Michigan win.
I can't.
I just can't see it. I just don't think they're ready. So for me, Ohio State are going to the title game.
And if they do, then Indiana go by proxy. So I think that's going to be it.
I like Indiana, but I don't want that because I just think OSU will I think they'll wipe the floor with them. I feel like either way, I'm going to get a really disappointing title game.
I mean, Indiana took down Oregon this year. I think Indiana are a different beast this year. That defense is just as good, if not better, than Ohio State.
I'd much rather see like a Michigan, Indiana, or an Oregon. Yeah. That's what I want. I want a competitive game, which means I don't want Ohio State in the title game.
See, when I'm thinking about the game this year, last year I predicted Michigan to win when everyone said they were going to lose. You know why? Because of Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham, the best defensive tackle pairing in the country, which we knew would absolutely collapse Ohio State's offensive scheme, which it did. They couldn't run the football. It put pressure on the quarterback. They kept it low scoring, and Michigan were gritty enough to be able to grit that thing out. I knew it because they had that DT pairing. I don't see the difference makers on this Michigan team this year. Marshall's had a great year at wide receiver. Bryce has been pretty good, but defensively, where are their playmakers? Rayshawn Benny and Derek Moore are not what they had last year. I don't see how you stop the Ohio State offense this year from rolling. And Julian Sayans up for the Davey O'Brien this year. He's throwing at like 80% efficiency. It's stupidly good. The Ohio State offensive line is mid, don't get me wrong. If Michigan are going to win, they've got to target that line, but I just don't think they have the defense that they did last year to pull them through a slugfest. I think it's going to be a high scorer, and I don't think they'll keep up. So, yeah.
I'm with you, though. Something weird could happen.
Something weird. The fun stuff happens if Michigan win, because then everybody can get in.
Like I say, if Ohio State lose, like I say, that's the best thing that can happen for the title game.
It is, and just so Matt Patricia's face, I want to see Matt Patricia suffer. But yeah, that is the Big Ten title scene. CUSA, very interesting this one. It's very simplified as well. You've got Kennesaw State, Western Kentucky, and Jacksonville State all sat at 6-1. Now this is easy. Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State play each other this week, so winner is in and will host the title game. Kennesaw State clinch with a win, because obviously one of these teams will lose. They have the better record. If Kennesaw State lose, they are out. If Jacksonville State lose, because they've lost to them this year, they are in if Western Kentucky lose, because they've beaten Western Kentucky this year. So this is a straight three-way ride. Kennesaw State, this is going to be awesome for them. Their odds of making it are pretty high. It's just who they're going to face. It will be a road game, but what an amazing season they've had. And they're going to get to go up against either the former conference champion or Western Kentucky. Maybe it's their time, but I'm seeing a final with Kennesaw State in it. I'm just not sure who it's against. Because they're on the road at Liberty, Kennesaw State are, so
yeah.
They've been shit, but they could lose that.
The Kennesaw State struggled against Jacksonville State. Like I said, they struggled against Missouri State. But I suppose sometimes, like I say, if you just come up against the right team in the final game of the season, like I say, Liberty are all at sea out there. They've lost 3 in a row, to play for. Can the Flames really dig themselves deep enough to ruin the Owls' season? I mean, it would be a huge shock if they did, but I just can't see it.
No.
Like they Kennesaw State, yeah. They will be the first team to make it. And then, like you say, the other two.
Yeah.
Going to be interesting.
It is. It's going to be a big game. Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State. That's clash of styles.
But like I say, one wants to throw, one wants to run.
I would love to see a Western Kentucky Kennesaw State final. Maverick McIvor, first year up here, Kennesaw State. It'd be like this is the FCS takeover pretty much. So I would love to see a Western Kentucky.
I say Western
State
Kentucky
final.
just played their absolute asses off in a loss to LSU.
Yeah,
they can play defensive football, and we've never had to ask that before.
No.
So do you know what? I think the Western Kentucky defense turns up and slams the brake on Jack State's run game.
Indeed, it does. Next up, we have the MAC, Western Michigan.
We've got one team, haven't we, from last night?
Oh, do we?
Western Michigan.
Oh, did they win?
They've played, yeah.
Oh, okay. So Western Michigan are now 7-1. They are in the MAC title game. Behind them, it is a cluster. Central Michigan, Ohio, Toledo, and Miami of Ohio are all on 5-2. Now, there's one easy bit to this. Toledo are on the road to Central Michigan. The loser is out, regardless. Yeah. Outside of that, if the 4 favourites win, so Western Michigan have won, if Ohio, Toledo, and Miami of Ohio all win, then Miami of Ohio makes the title game. It is a 3-team tiebreaker, and the record is common opponents, in which they hold sway over that.
If they all played. They've all played the same team.
Yeah, they've all played the same team. So, yeah, if Ohio, Toledo, and Miami of Ohio all win, Miami of Ohio are the team who get in. If they all start losing and winning, etc., lots of other scenarios open up here. But, I mean, good for the Broncos, right? They've had a couple of rough years. Good for the Broncos getting there.
Rough years, like I say, they're the ones heading to Detroit for the championship game. Like I say, who they're going to be playing is very interesting. I'm trying to remember, I had Toledo winning the championship game, I believe. And like I say, they started the season weekly, but they are, like I say, they've won 3 in a row. So Toledo, yeah, like I say, Central Michigan, 2 in a row, like I say, Ohio, Buffalo ain't no slouches. I mean, yeah, like I say, it really is difficult. Like I said, they've all got a pretty tricky matchup. Yeah, I can't even call this one. I've no idea.
No, it is very tough.
Ball State aren't great, but Ball State beating Miami of Ohio, that would not shock me in the slightest if they upset them.
No. A lot of stuff can still happen there. Now, next up, we got the Mountain West. This is absolutely crazy, the Mountain West this year. San Diego State 6-1. You got Boise, UNLV, and New Mexico at 5-2, and then you've got Hawaii, Fresno State, and Utah State at 4-3. And this is simply, don't ask. San Diego State obviously can get in with a win, but there are scenarios here where you can end up with 4 teams in first place, and you can end up with 6 teams in second place. They're all playing different teams. No one's playing each other, or the right teams are playing one another. So quite simply, there is no scenario for this right now outside of a San Diego State win. They're in. I think out of Boise, UNLV, and New Mexico, if all 3 of them win... New
Mexico got San Diego State, so if New Mexico lose, they're out.
Yeah.
No, if because if New Mexico lose, they can't finish above them.
No.
Even though they'll be joined on 6-2. So yeah, New Mexico must win.
Boise win. If Boise, UNLV, and New Mexico all win, then Boise get through with San Diego State, I think is the thing. But right now, we can't call it. Hawaii, Fresno State, and Utah State can all get into the title game still.
Utah State beat Boise State. They both go 5-3, but Utah State get the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Jump straight to second, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Hawaii has beaten... I can't remember, but there are certain parameters that get them in there, so don't ask. The Mountain West is a complete cluster, and we've no idea. SEC is up next. That is a lot easier. TAMU, 7-0. Georgia, 7-1. Alabama and Ole Miss are 6-1. So the easy scenarios here: Bama are winning in or losing out in the Iron Bowl. Nice and easy.
They've got head over Georgia.
They do. So they've got that. Georgia need a loss from either Texas A&M or Alabama. That would get them a spot in the championship game because of common records, etc. Ole Miss, they need a win, and they need Texas A&M and Alabama both to lose their rivalry games,
unlikely, I think.
Which is unlikely. Texas A&M are not safe, so obviously they're winning in.
That's a really awkward game for Texas A&M.
They are winning in, but if they lose and Alabama and Ole Miss win, they're out. So there is still a scenario where Texas A&M don't make it. And Texas A&M traditionally do not do well against Texas in recent years.
Like I said, Ole Miss in recent years hate the Egg Bowl.
Yeah.
Mississippi State or short. So for me, like I said, Georgia. For me, yeah, Georgia. I know they've got a hard game, but should win comfortably.
I mean, Georgia are done with their SEC. This is their non-con now, so Georgia don't play SEC now. It's just they need one of Bama or Ole Miss to lose. Bama or TAMU to lose. I mean, there's a good chance. Maybe it happens.
I mean, yeah, like I say, A&M. Do we trust them?
This is the big one, right? I mean, like, the LSU game was a big one, but we've seen what's happened with LSU since, so it kind of feels a little fraudulent now. This is the big one.
Can Texas pull their socks up is the question. Can Texas
Texas will want to ruin this.
Can they get themselves their shit together to ruin A&M here?
Pretty sure last year Texas got in the SEC title game at TAMU's expense because of the rivalry game, if I remember rightly. Yes. It was quite close. So Texas have already spoiled it once. They'll want to do it again, and Arch will want to, because Arch could get.
This is the biggest game of Arch Manning's career,
and Texas needed to get in the playoffs.
He's going to convince me he's the future. Go out there and ruin the Aggies' season.
And Texas need this to get in the playoffs. Like there is no Texas in the playoffs unless they win and get to the championship game.
They shouldn't even be ranked as high as they are now.
No. We've talked about the rankings on another one, but it's the rankings. Some of the rankings are disgusting this year. But yeah, that's the SEC. The Sun Belt is nice and easy. This is a very easy one for you all. I don't have to explain this. James Madison won the Sun Belt East, and the Sun Belt West. It is a Southern Miss versus Troy. Winner takes all to win that one this year. So they will be the team that face James Madison in the final. But nice and easy, right? Southern Miss, Charles Huff, what a job he's done. But Troy have been there and done that in recent years. They've got 2 recent Sunbelt titles. Like, they're the wily old foxes who've been there against the new boys who have just come from the bottom right to the top. That's going to be a hell of a game. But a nice, easy playoff picture, or a championship game picture for the Sunbelt.
I mean, it's sad to think that the Southern Miss Troy game will probably be more entertaining than any title game, if I'm perfectly honest.
Who would you prefer to get in?
Yeah, it's a huge game. Like I say, it's offense, it's defense. It's going to be that should be a great game. Yeah. Like I say, James Madison, Chesney's name's flying around hot now. Like I say, he's scooping up one of those lesser P4 jobs. He's getting it sooner or later. So he needs to win the Sun Belt now.
Yeah.
Also, like I say, winning the Sun Belt and like I say the conference, the playoff committee is going to have a very difficult choice.
Yeah.
James Madison versus an American champion.
They've said James Madison has struggled. Why James Madison is struggling so much? The losses to Louisville, and Louisville have tailed off in recent weeks. Yeah. Their star has diminished. If Louisville were an ACC championship team and won it, that's a quality loss on your resume. But because Louisville have plummeted, it's now a bad loss. I think they've said that's what's affecting them. And of course, the Sun Belt's not been competitive this year, which is a shame. So you don't have the. They've said there's pretty much no way James Madison gains the competition levels, and it's all Louisville's fault. So screw you, Louisville. So that is your title pictures for every FBS conference going into the final week, and there are going to be some doozies on the horizon. Lisa's in the building. Hope you are doing well, Lisa. She's talking about the Frank Ragnow unretirement will play against the Rams. Yes, we are incredibly delighted. I would love to bask in it some more, but it happened halfway through this show, so we're trying to get on with the show and get this out of the way, and then we'll do some Frank stuff afterwards. Right, moving on. We've got the award nominees for this year, right, for most of the big awards in college football. The George Munger and the Heisman have not been announced yet, but they will be shortly. But we'll quickly go through these lists. The Davey O'Brien Award for quarterback. The 3 finalists: Fernando Mendoza of Indiana, Marcel Reed of Texas A&M, and Julian Sayin of Ohio State. Weirdly enough, and I don't know whether it's coincidence or not, the 3 quarterbacks in the country still playing for undefeated teams, but there's a reason why. Mendoza, that massive comeback drive against Penn State, which preserved their season. Marcel Reed, the franchise best recovery ever against South Carolina a couple of weeks ago, administered by him. And Julian Sayin, for a true freshman, has kind of just blown every expectation out the water there. It does feel like 3 worthy guys in the Davey O'Brien. Yeah,
like I say, it's a great award. Like I say, and it's kind of. I mean, I can get the case for Marcel Reed. Like I say, that historic comeback. Like I say, he's had a great year. The team, but then I look and like I say the team's record. Is it all him? Is it a collective unit? Like I say, I know the numbers are good. Like I say, obviously he's a sophomore. Like I say, I like him. I mean, I don't think Marcel Reed's winning the award. I think it's safe to say. I think he's already 3rd. Unless the Aggies win the night.
Is it the QB who wins the Big Ten title game that takes this then? Because Mendoza and Sam will likely play each other.
I think it is because I also think, like, say, I think Satan's got a great chance of having a deeper playoff run than A&M.
Potentially. I
Um,
don't. I
I
don't.
think. Well, will the award be handed out for the playoffs starting? Will it?
I think so. Potentially, it'll
Don't
be
all the
when
awards get
the.
announced before the playoffs
I
because they
think
don't
so.
count them,
Yeah.
do they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. If Indiana win the Big Ten championship, you've got to give it to Mendoza.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt about it if you do that there. So, but yeah, three.
It's gonna be interesting to see. Like, say, it's gonna come out a lot of bias.
Yeah. Yeah. It is indeed. But we'll see. But I like it. Three good ones in there. The Doak Walker,
It's
the
definitely
running
not
back.
the names we thought we were gonna get.
Oh God, no.
No,
No.
Slayer, no Klubnik,
Klubnik, no Allah.
no Drew Alla.
No, it's the new boys. It's the young boys. I mean, who are these? Reed's a sophomore.
Who's sophomore?
Sayan's a freshman, and Mendoza's a junior. I think none of them are seniors.
No.
So not a single senior in that group. But
I mean,
good for them.
could you have made a case for guys like Fagnano?
Potentially. I mean,
You
UConn
could
have
done,
got
like,
one guy
he'd
in
got
there.
shredded,
So,
but
yeah. I think
it's
these.
definitely not an award for the best QB in the country because, like say, Mestemaker, him, like say, Colton Joseph, they never get a look in.
No, it's all level of competition, isn't it? Sometimes, which counts against here. However, saying that, Doak Walker, the running back, 3 finalists for that. We have Ahmed Hardy of Missouri, Kewan Lacey of Ole Miss, and Jeremiah Love of Notre Dame. And thinking off the top of my head, I mean, I'm surprised Caleb Hawkins would not be in here with 22 touchdowns and more, but I guess you're taking Power 4 into equations here. These are 3 deserving choices here. Like Ahmed Hardy is just the best sophomore in the nation. Kewan Lacey's been amazing for Ole Miss, and Jeremiah Love, he's having a Heisman campaign for Notre Dame, or an outside Heisman campaign there. Like, I like these picks.
Yeah, I mean, I like 3 picks, but there's only 2 in contention. Sorry, Kewan Lacey, you don't stand a chance. I don't think. I mean, when I think about who made the step up, I say who has been the best running back in the SEC, it's Ahmed Hardy. But then when I think about who I thought could win the Heisman and has been on a destructive tear and a first-round running back, Jeremiah Love, I could give them it both for very different reasons.
Yeah.
I think right now, if I was pressed to give a winner, I'd probably give it to Jeremiah Love.
Notre Dame's the bigger team.
What he's done is guided his team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, Ahmad Hardy's done everything he could, but I mean, the Tigers have only fallen short because of bad quarterback play.
Yes, they have. He's got injured.
Like I said, Ahmad Hardy next year, the guys are gone.
Yeah.
That's it. Like say junior, then you're a first round running back. Like say you could put a ball in this award next year. It's just too soon.
'Tis indeed. Moving on to the Biletnikov, and
this caused controversy.
For wide receiver in the nation, you have Jeremiah Smith of Ohio State, you have Makai Lemon of USC, and then you have little old Skylar Bell of UConn leads the nation in receiving yards, one of the best for receiving touchdowns this year. We touched on his story at UConn before the season started, and I mean, he's had an unbelievable season. Came from, I think, Wisconsin and Nebraska, kind of was a no thought there. Him and Joe Fagnano and Cameron Edwards this year fronting a UConn attack which has been deadly, but Skylar Bell gets a nod for UConn. I absolutely adore this pick. I don't think Jeremiah Smith should be in there because I don't think he's been particularly good this year compared to some others, but I love the Skylar Bell pick, right? I don't think there's any chance he wins it over Makai Lemon because he's just got crazy highlight reel footage all year, but I love the fact they've gone out the box and put him in there because he deserves it.
A lot of people upset they haven't put in Chris Brazell at Tennessee. I mean, he would have been a safe choice.
It's a spread offense. Like, that's cheating. Putting spread offense receivers in for the Biletnikov.
I kind of like the Skylar Bell shout. I think it's a great shout. Like say, a kid that's got that, like say, that big school experience that took it to a smaller one that could have kind of gone anywhere. Like say, he's had a tremendous year. But for me, like say, for me, this is not about numbers because Jeremiah Smith's got the numbers. This is Makai Lemon's award. every time I've watched him, he's dominated the opposition with flashy plays, with big plays, with spins, with breaking tackles, with crazy catches. Like I say, the Trojans have been incredibly fun to watch. Like I say, and he's not put up the numbers of a lot of guys, but the guys, like I say, he's a top 10, top 15 draft pick. For me, he will be it pains me to say it, he's a much better. I think John Tyson might be taken before him. He's a much better wide receiver than John Tyson. That hurts.
Well,
but it's
that's
true.
From the Sun Devils fan there.
Kyle Lemon should be the first wide receiver taken in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
I don't care about, like to say, the average size and measurables. The guy is going to be an instant offensive rookie of the year candidate in the NFL. He should walk this award.
No, not at all. We are not pre-recorded today, Lisa. We are live for this. So, yeah, we are seeing this. We are going crazy over the Ragnow news, but we got to keep our composure. We have our college news to do first. We've got to remain professional for the course of the show. We will get giddy about Frank when the main show is done, so don't you worry about that. The John Mackey Award for tight end, 3 finalists here. Kenyon Sadiq of Oregon, Michael Trigg of Baylor, and Eli Stowers of Vanderbilt. I had like RJ Maryland or something like that this year, like just not even gone close. But
I picked RJ Maryland.
But yeah, I mean, 3 deservers. Like Trigg has done well in that offense where they're Sawyer's putting up stupid numbers there. Stowers has obviously been incredible at Vanderbilt with Pavia, and then Kenyon Sadiq, he's had a very good year at Oregon, been one of the most reliable targets for Dante Moore there. Again, it's a good solid field for them.
Yep, this one's pretty open, I think. I think Kenyon Sadiq has probably worked his way now into being a first round draft pick. I'd be very surprised if he fell out. He very much fits the fold of, like I said, they do kind of like the NFL now, like these more athletic, undersized, less bulky tight ends. He very much fits it. Like I say, he's been a big part of that offense. He's been very good. But I'm with you, like I say, there's some great numbers. Like I say, these guys have been great. Like I say, Michael Trigg, I like him. Like I say, definitely an option for me when I'm picking a player next year for the Lions. Like I say, we need some depth to that one. He won't cost you too much. But as an overall room, like I say, you've obviously got to be upset Justin Joel is not there. Like I say, but it's been a great year for tight ends. I mean, Max Klein, he's disappointed, hasn't he? Ohio State.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's Michigan's one. You've got Max Clare.
Oh, Max Clare, yeah. Like I say, he would have been the front runner to win the award.
I had Max Clare to win it in preseason, so
yeah. He was under one this year, but like I said, they just haven't kind of gone through the tight end, like I said. But yeah, this is a wide open award, but I'd probably give the nod to Sadiq because he's done it in big games.
He has. He has been tremendous for Oregon this year. The Outland Award for interior lineman. This is both sides of the ball. Utah offensive tackle Spencer Farnu, Iowa center Logan Jones, and Ohio State defensive tackle Caden McDonald. We didn't even come close on this one here, but I mean, Farnu, obviously we knew before the season is a potential top 5 NFL draft pick. Logan Jones, Ryan, had such a dominant season for that Iowa team, which has been a lot better in circumstances. You know, the offense hasn't quite clicked, but it's been a lot better. He has been flawless, and when people say the center class is weak, I look at you and I go, no, it's not. You've got guys like Logan Jones in there who are going to start in the NFL one day. And then, of course, you've got Caden McDonald, who's fronted that scary Ohio State D-line again, allowed Caden Curry and that on the edge to get lots of pressure there. I mean, I would love Logan Jones to win this because I think he's amazing. And I wouldn't mind him being on the Lions one day, potentially, if Ragnow's only back temporarily. But, Farnu and McDonald have had good seasons as well. But this is such a vast thing. There could be a lot of other guys in there.
I hate this award that it's both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
I know who I picked for this award. I picked Caleb Banks.
The Florida DT. I can't.
But that's why I hate this award. It needs separating.
It does. It needs offensive and defensive.
Interior defensive tackle and a centre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you that can make a good case for Logan Jones. I'm with you. Potential after a rookie season, sit him. Potential Frank Ragnow replacement. Yeah. Frank, I'm still not holding out hope he's here long term. We'll see. But I'm all over drafting Logan Jones for Lions.
If Frank Ragnow is gonna do a thing where who was it years ago? Who there were a player. What if the Rams who just used to come out of retirement for the playoffs? Like I can't remember who it was now, but there are some players who just play the playoffs and don't do the regular season. If Frank wants to do something like that, I'm fine with that as long as we get
Logan
there.
Jones could definitely be his era.
But yeah.
Like I say, I'd love Spencer Farno. We ain't in a place to get him.
No.
But yeah, it kind of feels like such a lofty position as offensive tackle will carry weight in this award.
Yeah.
Because it's a premier position.
Yeah.
And Utah have been tremendous.
Yeah. But just as a quick aside, I've seen people this week who've been looking at the draft saying there's no good centers. People are just looking at rankings and ratings at the minute.
Or like Connor Lew, Jake Slaughter, and Logan Jones.
Yeah, Parker Brailsford, Brady Small,
With Connor Lew declares he on a torn ACL, he could easily go in the end of the first round. Just smash it.
Yeah, Lalulu is in there. Like, don't listen to people who say this. It's just because the major publications haven't got around to updating their things yet, and everyone's day. There are a lot of day 2 and above draftable centers in this class, potentially, depending on who does. So don't listen to the chatter there. Next, we got the Chuck Bednarik and the Bronco Nagurski. These are the 2 defensive awards. The same 3 guys on 2 of them, and then a 4th for the Broncos. So for the Chuck Bednarik and the Bronco Nagurski, we've got Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State, Cassius Howell, the edge from Texas A&M, and Jacob Rodriguez, the superstar linebacker from Texas Tech. And then for the Bronco Nagurski, it's the same 3 guys, but you've got Leonard Moore, the Notre Dame cornerback, added to that to make 4. I mean, again, defense is so vast and varied. There's so many good defenders out there, but there's no denying Downs has had an amazing year. Howell has been one of the big reasons Tamu's defense has done so well. And I mean, Jacob Rodriguez is just having the best season of a linebacker of all time.
Jacobs to lose, but it feels like the public perception Jacob has no chance of winning. An SEC edge rusher and everyone's favourite safety in the country. The odds are real. The odds are really stacked against him. I hate that. I mean, like saying, I mean, it says a lot that, like say, that Caleb Downs, let's say, I don't know. I just feel like Jacob will get screwed.
Yeah.
I'd hate to see them both go at the same player. I hate these 2 awards. Yeah. Because, you shouldn't be scooping both unless you're absolutely the best player in the whole nation.
Yeah. I think you should divide them up a bit, but it's not the only category he's in, because we've got the Butkus next, the Dick Butkus for linebacker, and this is a lineup and a half.
He's won this award. He's got to win this award.
I mean, it's a wonderful lineup, though. You've got 5 finalists for this: C.J. Allen from Georgia, Arvell Reese from Ohio State.
Now he's the name one.
Yeah, Aiden Fisher from Indiana, who's just been amazing. Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas, and Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech. I mean, that's a lineup and a half.
This is the best finalist of all the awards.
Yeah, there's some cracking linebackers in there. Aiden Fisher's been a revelation.
These guys they're all getting drafted.
Yeah,
easily all of them.
Oh God, yeah. Hill is. I think they're all eligible this year as well. So
I've seen Arvell Reese go 1st overall.
God, Bennett. When was the last time a linebacker went 1st in a draft? Has it ever happened?
A true linebacker? No.
I mean, I guess we'd have to go back some years. I can't think. Am I just immediately missing one? And we're not using outside linebackers either. This is a true middle linebacker. Probably has
true
never
middle
gone.
Linebacker, which I said I can't.
Oh God, hang on. I feel like this is something I want to look at. Highest drafted.
Do we class Arvell Reese? He pass rushes, but a true linebacker, do you think? Or is he going to be drafted as a pass rusher?
Oh, I don't. He's
a tweener.
Yeah.
But Jacob Rodriguez is a straight-up inside linebacker.
All right, the last 1st overall pick for a linebacker was 1988, the year before I was born. So that is a long time ago. Yeah. Yes. it's gone down in rankings in the years. That was, if Brent's around, he'll know. Andre Bruce, picked number 1 by the Atlanta Falcons in 1988.
Text that down here. I can't give this award to Anthony Hill Jr., but I can give it to any of the others.
Yeah, 100%. The Jim Thorpe Award for Best Defensive Back. 3 finalists: Mansour Delane, the corner from LSU; Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State; Leonard Moore, cornerback from Notre Dame. It kind of feels like the hype around Delane tailed off a little bit as the season went on. It was uber high to start with. Leonard Moore's been a revelation. He's a freshman, right?
Tailed off, and then DJ Pickett shot up.
Yeah, it's an odd one, but obviously Leonard Moore's been under the radar, great freshman for Notre Dame. But good selection. Downs in there again, so obviously they're thinking a lot of him.
I'd give it to Mansour Delane purely because he's been shut down without necessarily the turnovers. A lot of the LSU safeties got the turnovers, but LSU, anyone targeting Delane, just shuts down. But Caleb Downs will win.
Yeah,
whether or not I think he should win, Caleb Downs will win.
Yeah, and if he wins all these awards, then it's how high in the draft will he go?
It was always corners. Now, like I say, we're in a safety era.
Yeah, how high in the draft will he go, sort of thing.
Top 5.
Yeah, he'll be very high. Very, very, very high. And then last one of the main ones, the Lou Groza, the kicker. Both of us got this very wrong. 3 finalists: Aiden Burr from Georgia Tech, Tate Sandell from Oklahoma, and my unanimous winner in my eyes, Kansei Matsuzawa of Hawaii. He has not missed a kick or an extra point all year long. He is absolutely perfectamundo from every range he's been at. The Japanese guy who learned how to kick on YouTube, right? He deserves the Lou Groza more than anybody this year.
I'd love to see him win it. Like I say, yeah, he has been money all year. Like I said, he's just very new to the game.
Yeah, he is. He's learned how to kick off YouTube. That's how. And this Hawaii team has been so good this year.
And Hawaii's been good, which means he's got to win the award.
Exactly.
If it was a bad Hawaii team, I'd get not giving him it.
Yeah, and he's won them some games this year. They've been clutch. So, yeah, we're on the Matsuzawa for Lou Groza train here, and it better make it to the station. And as we mentioned, the George Munger and the Heisman have not been announced just yet, but my pick for the George Munger is still in there. So please, Tulane and John Sumrall, do me proud and get to the playoffs. And that is that for all the awards stuff there. And it's like we've been going for absolutely ages, and we have at this point. But we do need to talk about Week 13. I know I did promise we were going to do centre stuff for you, but we've had that much on the docket this week that I'm going to have to kick it back to a different week, as I'm going to have to kick back my second part on looking at the next crop of group of 5 superstars who are going to either come to the draft or a Power 4 team near you. It is completed, but I will knock it back because we're 2 hours in and we've not even talked about Week 13 at this moment in time, so we're going to need to get on and sort that out. So we're not going to really go in depth about too much. Again, this was kind of scrub week. The SEC were playing their scrub schedule. There were not a lot of big matchups anyhow, so we can kind of breeze through some of these. Not that we like to, but obviously we have to prioritize things in this show, and it's not often that we do that. So in terms of the Week 14 results, I'm just going to go through them as they were done chronologically, and we're going to stop sort of as and when we get to the point we want to talk about, and it will help if I've got the week in question up here. So starting with the midweek match and last week, some of this may have happened by then, but Akron finished their season with a win over Bowling Green, 19-16. I guess we'll stop right here to start with. Right, Akron finished their season 5-7, but with a 4-4 record in the MAC, which, considering how bad they've been in recent years, they have just gone under everybody's radar. They didn't quite make it to a bowl game, but they have found relevancy once again after years out in the wilderness.
Oh yeah, if you look at last year's record, like I say, I mean, you'd look away, like I say, because last year they really struggled. Like I say, and every year they've been on a strong decline. Like I say, as of early as 23, 24, 2-10. Like I say, and then you've got 4-8. Like I say, and then you slowly worked your way up. Like I say, 5-7. It's a team going in the right direction. and it's a team that 3-4 years ago was considered with like UMass. Right, we're looking at them like they are like the dregs of the FBS, and they'd probably ranked everything like say below 120, 130. Like I said, they've worked really hard on improving their image as well, their stadium, trying to draw the fans back, get people back on side, and show that they're a football team worth hanging on. So like I say, not like I say they're well off the pace, like I say in the MAC, but they're firmly entrenched in the competing pack in the middle. The only thing they need to work on is, like I say, they're one of the worst teams, like I say, at travelling. They just got to get better on the road, like I say, and the wins then will start coming. But yeah, they've certainly had a good season by their own standards, and yeah, I say they're slowly climbing their way back up.
Yeah, and the Zips need to progress next year now, so we will be looking for some genuine progression from this team next year. Western Michigan beat Northern Illinois 35-19, and as Ryan mentioned, they've already played this week. They beat Eastern Michigan last night, which means Western Michigan, the Broncos, are in the MAC title game. Good for them. Ohio smashed UMass 42-14, and UMass finished their season last night with a humiliating 48-21 loss, I think it was, to Bowling Green, which cemented the worst season in UMass history. It was Harasiak's first year there. I'm not sure he gets a second. You were watching this game. You were providing highlights for it, but I know it's his first year, but the only winless team in the nation. You're going to be on a very short leash next year now, or you're not going to get a second shot. The manner of which they've lost their games by an average of 27 points. The only close game they had this year was when they let go a 20-point lead to FCS Bryant. This has been really difficult for the Minutemen this year.
Yeah, like I say, and last night summed it up. 28-0 down in 10 minutes, but then controlled most of the second quarter. Scored 2 good touchdowns, 28-14 at the half, and I thought, all right, get stopped up in the second half, like I say, and then I think it threw an interception, I lost a fumble, turned it over straight away, conceded 35-14, and like I say, the confidence was zapped, like I say, and he looks, he obviously don't call the plays, like I say, anytime the camera pans on the sideline, pretty nonchalant look, like I say, I can't read his emotions, he's never talking to anyone, like I say, it's probably the loneliest job in the world, an 0-12 football coach, even when he plays in that, like I say, it's hard, like I say, but I saw a lot of reasons for optimism, like I said, they had, I can't remember his name, but number 2, like a wide receiver that looked very good, like I say, he had a stellar game, he had like 100 yards receiving just after the first half, so there are weapons, there are players, like I said, not for lacking of confidence, not for lacking of trying. They gave everything they could. Just ran out of steam. Yeah, like I said. So this year, he gets this year. Like I said, but next year he loses the goodwill. If they go 0-5, 0-6, 0-7, like I say, you've used up all the goodwill by then. So he's got to find a way to win. Just a few, 2, 3 wins next year. Like I say, gets you probably 27.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at Kent State. I mean, Kent State went winless last year. This is the first time a conference.
Akron, like I said, they've all been down there.
Yeah, this is the first time in 20 years since a conference has had back-to-back winless teams. It doesn't happen often, and it happened in the MAC last time. But Kent State, they're 4-7 this year. They're 3-4 in the MAC, so they could end with a 500 record in the MAC this year if they win this week. So it is possible to turn it around in a shorter space of time. Speaking of, Miami of Ohio twatted Buffalo last week, which ruined my Buffalo prediction for that. Buffalo are up there for biggest disappointments this year, 5-6. They are 4-3 in the MAC, but they should have won the title this year. Louisiana beat Arkansas State 34-30 to ruin Arkansas State's chances in the Sun Belt West. Oh, I loved this one. NC State beat Florida State 21-11, and I ribbed Ash about this because this was actually a pretty close game until Florida State, with 2 of the funniest muffed punts in history towards the end of the game. One bounced off a player's helmet, and the other he just straight up dropped it because he was scared he was going to get hit hard. And what was even funnier, we have now got a 6-year... It's been 2019 the last time Florida State beat NC State. We're only 6-5 this year. We've got to a bowl game, but Florida State, 5-6, not even bowl eligible. They already said they're bringing Mike Norvell back this year after 2 horror years. Like, it's hard to recruit there right now. A lot of their recruits are leaving because they don't want to go and play for this team. And like you said earlier, it feels like he's 3 or 4 bad games next year from being at the chop. So why keep him?
Exactly. Like I say, if you had a limb that was kind of getting gangrenous, would you wait to see if it healed itself, or would you chop it off now? You won't wait 6, 7 more games, would you? You'd do it now. And that's, even Ash said in the chat, he agreed with me. Like I say, a bad first 5 games, you're firing him then, and then you're just putting an interim in to try and get to the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really just setting yourself up for a fall here.
Yeah.
Should just bin him now. You know he's not the guy, and he's making the promises. He's telling you what you want to hear. I mean, all bad ex-girlfriends do that, don't they? They give you a reason not to dump them, and then he's gonna go break your heart anyway and cost you money.
Lift their shirt and flash themselves, and you're like, oh, what was I worried about in the first place? I can agree with you there. Christ, where were we at after that bad anomaly? UNLV smacked Hawaii 38-10. I mean, it's been a great season for Hawaii at 7-4, but I think they just found their ceiling this year. But they're still in with an outside chance. They're 4-3. They're going to have a 500 record in the Mountain West, but UNLV continue to impress under Mullen, and they may well get to the title game there. Ohio State beat Rutgers 42-9. Texas A&M beat Samford 48-0 as the SEC went on their scrub campaign week. Number 8 Oklahoma beat number 22 Missouri 17-6. And like I say, it's been very sad, the end of the season for Missouri. Obviously, the injury to Bo Pribula has kind of it's like an effect, like Syracuse lost their quarterback and they were just never the same team after. It feels like Mizzou just have suffered from not having their quarterback with them, and it was a shame.
Yeah, like you say, an end to the season that kind of is just, it's unraveling it. Like a quarterback play, no real complementary offense. It's just really struggling to let them down. What could have been a great year has kind of just fizzled out, unfortunately, by their standards, which is a shame. I hope next season they manage to find some consistency at the position.
Indeed. Miami, Florida won on the road at Virginia Tech 34-17. SMU smashed Louisville 38-6. That was an absolute pasting, which we didn't see coming. And mile marker, Northwestern 38, Minnesota 35, and I have never been so hot and cold on a game in my life. Northwestern took a 10-0 lead in this one. Then Minnesota got a touchdown, but then Northwestern got another field goal, so they were 13-7 up, but they were 10-0 up to start this game. Then Minnesota rack off 3 touchdowns in a row to go 28-13 up. Then Northwestern rack off 3 touchdowns in a row to go up 35-28. Then Minnesota immediately hit back to get it to 35 all with 8 minutes left. And then Northwestern, eventually the team who were able to get the breakthrough with a field goal with 53 seconds left to go 3 up. Drake Lindsay, bless him, gets Minnesota all the way back down the field for like the 50th time that game to get Minnesota within field goal range, and then the kicker misses it and Northwestern walked them off, and it's just absolutely heartbreaking for them. Drake Lindsay had a fantastic day. The young man threw for 260 yards and 4 touchdowns while his run game gave him absolutely nothing, and he engineered a huge comeback from when they were down early. He got the clutch drive to get them level. He got the clutch drive at the end of the game to get them even. I mean, it's Minnesota football this year. Ryan said at home they're unbeaten. Away, I think the record is now they're about 175-60. They've lost the points battle on the road. Like, they're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and there is no team in college football who is more Jekyll and Hyde than Minnesota this year. You feared for them early, then you thought they'd turn the corner against a not so good opponent, and then they just fell to pieces when it really mattered.
Yeah. we're not surprised, are we? As you say, we've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, the best, the worst of Drake Lindsay. The run game, sometimes Darius Taylor shows up, sometimes you don't know if he's suited up. Sometimes John Nestor in that defence is formidable. Sometimes it is like a open gate in the middle of a fence with no wall around it. Like I say, it's just not doing it. That's, yeah, like I say, it all comes down, like I say, PJ Fleck just cannot find any consistency. Like I say, they look like they're down in the dumps, then they look like they're going to run away with it, and in the end, like I say, they kind of blow it and leave the door open for defeat. So yeah, until Minnesota find, they've got players, but until they find a way to consistently perform at home and on the road as well, which always a struggle, they just will never get to a Big Ten title game, and they may piss away another great quarterback.
I mean, at least if they keep him, they found their next great quarterback. Like, I feel very confident with this guy. He's got the targets. That Javon Tracy's awesome. He had like 4 catches and 3 of them were touchdowns. Like, he's an amazing receiver. It's the running game that's let them down, which has been so critical.
Taylor's too flaky.
Yeah, but on the flip side, I mean, Northwestern sport the same record.
Their 4-star running back, Jet Walker, has just been flipped to Texas.
Yeah, Northwestern on the flip side, they're exactly the same record as Minnesota now. They're bowl eligible at 6-5. They're 4-4 in the Big Ten. Preston Stone's low key had a decent year after SMU discarded him. He was great in this game. He was like 24 or 29. He diced them up. He's bounced back after the SMU disappointment.
Yeah, like I say, he's done very well after, like I say, breaking his leg, getting benched, losing his job, cast into the wilderness, coming to a program down its dumps. Usually a recipe for obscurity and just disappear, but no, he's actually done part of the collective unit of resurrecting the Wildcats team. And yeah, it's good to see them end the season strong. Like I said, they're a team they're always game to, like I say, go toe-to-toe and potentially cause an upset. They are tough to play against.
They are.
It's a team that, like I say, when they get to their new stadium, like I say, and they get stable foundations again on their feet, I want to see them back on the rise again.
Yeah, indeed. Hopefully. That stadium looks fantastic as well. It looks like it seats about 200,000, but it seats like 30,000. It's tiny, but it looks aesthetically amazing. So hopefully Northwestern football is on the recovery. Wake Forest beat Delaware 52-14 in their last non-con game. Iowa State smacked Kansas 38-14. Rocco back to his best again, but it's Brett Eskildsen. I love him as an ex-receiver at the next level. 2 touchdowns for him on the day. He is going to be an absolute stud, and I think he's only a sophomore this year, so I look forward to seeing him next year, although I don't know who Iowa State's QB will be, because it won't be Rocco, because he's got to come up to the NFL, if possible. But Tulsa beat Army. What a bad year for Army. That was Tulsa's first win in the American this season. They were 0-6 in the American before this, and they managed to sneak Army out the back door, and they dropped over 520 yards of offense on them. They rushed on Army for 240 yards, and I don't think there are many teams that can rush on them for 240 yards. The running back Richardson had like over 200 yards on the ground. He was insane. Baylor Hayes, the young Tulsa quarterback, he's been awesome this year. I think he's a freshman. He threw for 270 and a touchdown. But, I mean, I don't think Army will be too disappointed, right? They won the American last year. They don't compete very often. They're focused entirely in on that Navy game now, and probably rightly so. Yeah,
like I said, they had a great year this year. They set an incredibly high bar for themselves that not been able to follow it up. So I think, like I said with you, like I said, they're just now looking at the big game. It's the one that's circled every year on the calendar, and they want to go ahead and, like I say, ruin what could be a fantastic year for Navy, and they want to play spoiler now.
Yeah. They want Navy to miss out on the title game, and then for them to smack them in the Army-Navy game. That is what they want. Georgia played their scrub non-con against Charlotte and unshockingly beat them 35-3. James Madison beat Washington State 24-20. Arizona smacked Baylor 41-17. Should Dave Aranda's job be in trouble now? because it just feels like they've gone off an absolute cliff. They're 5-6. They're 3-5 in the Big 12. Arizona weirdly have 8 wins, and they don't feel like an 8-win team. But Baylor just went off a cliff.
Yeah, like I say, Baylor they're the Jekyll and Hyde team. Like I said, times they're fantastic, times they're awful. Aranda's got to go because, like I say, the defense has been terrible. Offense has been great. And like I say, yeah, Arizona ranked 25. They've somehow managed to sneak their way into rankings in the final week. And like I say, they've just gone under the radar all year. Like I say, I'm not surprised they won in the end.
No, absolutely not. Old Dominion on the road against Georgia Southern smoked them 45-10. Old Dominion are an 8-win team this year. They're 5-2 in the Sun Belt West and if it weren't for the fact James Madison existed, they could well be in the Sun Belt Championship game this year. Ricky Rahn and co have done a fantastic job there at Old Dominion, and God, it's got to be his last year there, right? Surely somebody's going to take a look at Ricky Rahn now and go, yeah, that's a bright guy who can lead my program for the job he's done at ODU.
North Texas.
I would love that. Take your young quarterback with you. I think he's got a young quarterback there with him now. I think they lost their senior last year. I would love that more than anything.
Yeah, like I say, he's young enough. Like I say, he's got a man to take with him. He could go fill that place pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, I think that's the one I want to see the most now. I love that call there from you. Alabama smoked, I think, EIU. Guessing that might be Eastern Illinois. Not sure. 56-0. Auburn beat Mercer 62-17. Kennesaw State continued their impressive season with a 41-34 win over Missouri State, who themselves have done a tremendous job this year. Nevada, after not winning a Mountain West game, I think it was 17 in a row they've lost. They reeled off their second win in a row. They beat Wyoming on the road 13-7. So Nevada ending the season strong. Toledo smoked Ball State 38-9. App State just beat Marshall 26-24. Lost on the pick watch on that one. UConn beat Florida Atlantic 48-45. Jim Mora's last game with the Huskies. Louisiana Tech beat Liberty 34-38. Middle Tennessee won their first game in the CUSA this year, beating Sam Houston. New Mexico State beat UTEP, and what a horrid prediction from me that was. They'd make the title game this year. UTEP are 2-9. Disgusting. USF destroyed UAB in one of the bigger games. Okay, we are going to talk about this. Number 7 Oregon at home to number 15 USC. Oregon 42-27 winners. And Rye, we have been saying this for years. When is the media going to start hating on Lincoln Riley for not being able to win big games of football? Because now James Franklin's gone, there ain't nobody else who's going to take the mantle of biggest choker in games that matter than Lincoln Riley. Every time USC seem to have a game where something's on the line, they absolutely just lose the plot. And Oregon kind of dominated them from start to finish here. They got the first touchdown of the game, but for the most part, it felt like USC were second best in this, and Oregon just pulled away late on and made it non-competitive.
Yeah, got this one really wrong. Like I say, this one sucked.
So did I.
I think it's hilarious that people still put Lincoln Riley's name to all these jobs. But
I mean, what's he done?
He's a perennial big game loser, despite having endless finances,
endless 5-star recruits,
all the recruits. Like I say, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like he is where he is because he can't win big games. Like I said, he got snot kicked out of him Oregon in the end. It wasn't even competitive.
Nope, it was disgusting. Kenyon Sadiq had his big game with 2 touchdowns. I mean, Maeva was okay. He threw 2 picks, but they had no run game. Like, no run game at all. And once again, no defense when it matters either. Again, they're just 2 staples of Lincoln Riley teams, right? The run game's always the weaker side because he's always got some QB that he's in the ear of, throwing for miles. And they just can't defend when it matters. Ever. It just seems like they never get good defensive recruits, even though they do.
Yeah, like I say, he just can never find the balance right, despite having a plethora of talent around him. Like I say, they just always struggle in one area, and like I say, it costs them too many times.
Yep, it does indeed. Notre Dame I thought they were very mean here. They smoked Syracuse 70-7 in a game in which they didn't call off the dogs when they should have done. I thought this was very...
time of possession?
It was 18 minutes or something, weren't it?
I don't even understand how it's possible.
Yeah, Notre Dame scored 70 points with about 18 minutes of possession.
Make that make sense.
I mean, if you're a defensive coordinator for Syracuse, your boss comes in and goes, what the hell's this?
That's just, less said about the better one, like I say.
Is
fair play to Notre Dame. That is elite efficiency.
I mean, Fran Brown's got to be in a bit of trouble now, because I know you lost your quarterback, but for a program to fold as severely as it, unless I don't know the goings on at Syracuse, maybe they've had a lot more injuries, but it feels like they've lost the QB and then they've just given up the will to live, which is not a healthy program.
No, and it feels like a lot of people weren't on board with the hire anyway.
Yeah,
a lot weren't keen, and now, like I say, it really feels like now, like I say, he's under pressure. Like I say, they've got that star freshman corner.
Yeah,
I mean, he's probably going to be looking at this thinking, peace out, I'm off.
Yeah, go to the SEC, y'all. What could have been a trap game for Vanderbilt turned into a smoking 45-17 winners at home. Diego Pavia threw for 470 yards and 5 touchdowns. He had 70 rushing yards as well. So on the day, he had 530 yards of offense. And that's with them bringing in Blaze Berlowitz as well as his backup and taking him off, benching him before the end of the game because it's so good. But Diego... We talk about, and I know this will go completely over people's heads and they won't care whatsoever, but when we talk about MVP, we talk about most valuable player on a football team, who has the biggest effect on a football team and what it is all about. And if you're going by that criteria, surely nobody in all of college football has had a bigger impact on his team than Diego Pavia and what he does. This is like the third game he's thrown over 400 yards in a row. He has put them on his back. He talks the talk. He walks the walk. He has potentially flipped Jared Curtis to the program, which is an absolutely devastating loss for Georgia. Like, how have Georgia lost a 5-star quarterback to Vandy? Pavia should be in the MVP race at this point, with what he's done with Vandy.
Yeah, like I say, even in the losses, like I say, he's still done some fantastic stuff. Like I say, he's still made huge plays. He's still kept them firmly in the game, whether they win or lose. Like I say, he's got personality. You don't have to like him, but you have to kind of respect him. Like I say, and you've still got to respect what him and Vanderbilt have been able to do. And everything they do good starts with him. Like I say, and when he's not there, or if he wasn't there, you'd notice how big the drop-off was. Like I say, and he had an electric day. And
if he can lead them to a win against Tennessee this week, 10-win season for them, beating their rivals, they might even get in the playoffs, because Tennessee are ranked 19, Vandy are there at 14.
With a big win against Tennessee, they definitely would have to be in the consideration for one of the last
you put them in over Texas, like easy, like something like that. You put them in easy, surely, but like say Pavia has to be in this conversation completely and utterly. Like,
if you ask his mum, he's got to win the Heisman. Oh, those clips are funny.
Would you not, again though, it sounds stupid, but would you not put him in that convo? He might be the first quarterback to lead Vandy to a 10-win season in forever. I'd have to check, but probably not recently.
Because he's a character, he's got personality, he's got character.
But he backs it up.
I'll build it up. That's kind of like what the Heisman's about.
He's got swagger. It's not arrogant swagger, it's I believe in myself swagger, and he backs it up for the most part.
Yeah, like I say, he kind of ticks all the boxes for a guy that could go ahead and be enigmatic enough to win the Heisman.
Yeah, and I think an NFL team will love him enough to draft him. Like, somebody will be enamored by him. Like, it might be a maverick, renegade sort of head coach, but someone would love him. On the flip side, Kentucky need to stick with Cutter Bowley, right? I know he had a difficult game here, but they asked him to throw 45 times. They gave him no run game. I thought he was very good in the circumstances. He's homegrown. He's one of their recruits. He's a young freshman. Build round Cutter Bowley now to
He'll
make your
definitely
program
start next year
better.
better with some experience behind him.
Yeah, build your program better under Cutter Bowley. Like he should absolutely be given the chance to do that long term. Moving on, Texas beat Arkansas 52-37. Everyone started crowning this as Manning's coming out game, but Arkansas have not won a game in the SEC this year. I don't think that should mean absolutely anything to anybody. This is not a good level of opposition you've just beaten.
No, like I say, it's one of those where it is where it is. You've done it, but yeah, it kind of stops there, doesn't it? Like I say, it's not something to really write home about.
No,
it ain't going to win any plaudits.
You got 18 completions for 390 yards. That should tell you that they're throwing for fun. He's going at over 20 yards per throw on average. It's just, come on, do it against someone better, and I may believe in you a little bit more. But yeah, that's just not the way to go. Iowa beat Michigan State 20-17. Nearly Michigan State's first win of the year, but not quite. They're now 0-8 in the Big Ten. And does Jonathan Smith see another year there? There's real sort of clamour for him to be pushed out the picture now, and especially with Michigan State's sanctions coming up, it's going to make it even harder for him. And the QB he's benched. I can't see a world where he's not there, but it kind of feels a bit more like it might be it for him.
Yeah, it's one of those where I won't be surprised if it's quite a chaotic off-season. Like I say, top players could just say, do you know what, screw it. Once they get whispers in their ears, enter portal. Like I say, could find some big landing spots. Like I say, the permutations of, like I say, suspension, the fines, like I say, all that's come back to haunt them. Could well then, like I say, come back to bite him in between years. So it's going to be definitely interesting what happens between now and the spring.
It is indeed. Duke beat UNC 32-25 to keep their slim ACC hopes alive. Florida International with a massive win over Jacksonville State, which means Willie Simmons' record of never having a losing season as a head coach will be intact, because FIU are 6-5 with one game to go, so he's not going to have a losing season. They're 4-3 in the CUSA. So they're not going to have a losing CUSA campaign either. So he is carrying on his tremendous work, and this feels like the groundwork for FIU to make a leap next year. For Jacksonville State, that's a devastating loss. They could have been in the title game if they won this, and they wouldn't have a decider this week. But there you go. South Alabama beat Southern Miss 42-35. Again, big loss for Southern Miss, because it means they've got a winner-takes-all shootout against Troy now, which they might not have had otherwise. The least surprising result of last week, right? UTSA 58, East Carolina 24. Everybody in the
carries on it.
Everybody in the pick watch voted against UTSA, despite me telling them that UTSA have not lost a home conference game since November 23rd, 2019. Over 6 years they are unbeaten at home.
Is that, what are they on, like 22-0?
No, it's 25 now. I think it's 25. They've not lost one under their head coach at home in conference anyhow. It's been non-cons that have been played at home, but they've not lost at home in over 6 years. They've not lost to a single American team at home, and they absolutely marmalized an East Carolina team, which had just shocked Memphis the week before on the road. But you don't bet against a team that's not lost a home game in 6 years. Tulane smoked Temple 37-13. Utah nearly shocked by Kansas State 51-47. Not often that Utah get involved in shootouts, but Utah showing that they've got a bit of resolve. They can do it without having the elite defense. They can put up numbers when they need to. And K-State, they just must be distraught. 5-6 on the year.
K-State just crumbled.
But Utah are low key. If they did get into the playoffs, you wouldn't really want to play them.
No, I'd hate to have to go to Utah. Not a good place you'd have to go to.
No, I thought they were tremendous and great there for them. Michigan beat Maryland 45-20 on the road, and when are Maryland going to fire Mike Locksley? They're 1-7 in the Big Ten this year. I think only I think even Purdue have won a Big Ten game this year. That's how bad that is. TCU narrowly beat Houston on the road. That ruined Houston's season, 17-14.
Season,
it did. It ended theirs. And poor Oklahoma State. They lost 17-14 as well against UCF. Could have been their first Big 12 win in.
You're not good if you lose to UCF.
Yes. They've not won a Big 12 game in the last 2 seasons. Distraught for them. Troy beat Georgia State 31-19, and Georgia State are 1-10 this year. Something really gone wrong there. South Carolina beat Coastal Cal 51-7. Clemson beat Furman 45-10. Texas State beat ULM 31-14. Brian Vincent's lot have taken a massive step back this year, only 3-8. The big one of the week, though, Pittsburgh on the road at number 16 Georgia Tech, and I called this from a mile away, but Pittsburgh, right? And I guess we should have started with this because I've broken tradition here. This was what the title of the show was named after Haynes. When it Haynes, it pours. Off the popular thing here, when it rains, it pours. When bad times come in big measures. And Georgia Tech's season, from being unbeaten, right, has just gone off the rails. But this Pitt side, they came out and absolutely laid waste to them. They put them 28-0 down within 20 minutes of the game. It wasn't even 20 minutes. Mason Heinschel just absolutely eviscerated them through the air, and that defense has been good this year.
6 was the big game, the backbreaker. Was it
Lovelace took it 100 yards
off the goal line as well, like say, terrible throw.
Yeah, but and I know Georgia got 4 of the next 5 scores. They brought it within 7, but Pitt kind of just dominantly put this one to bed. It was a 60-yard rushing touchdown to end it, but Pittsburgh just came out and eviscerated them. I've not seen Georgia Tech taken apart like that in some time, but it happened finally. They always lose the one where they should win, probably. This was their chance to punch their ticket to the ACC title game, and they got humiliated in front of their own fans. And Pittsburgh, they're the team I wouldn't want to play right now. And Mason Heinschel, sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, they've blown it, haven't they? I mean, yeah, and what a sad way to end the season for Brent. So I'm sad for them, but if you can't win those games, then you don't belong. Like I say, yeah, even if they need a miracle, like I say, to get anything from this week, whether it meant or not. Like I say, yeah, what should have been playoffs potentially in an ACC title berth will now end up in a mediocre bowl game. And you lose, like say, Haynes King, could still lose your head coach.
Yeah.
Like say, to a promotion because he's done more than enough. Like say, this could be a rough off season of what ifs and what they've let slip. Like say, yeah, Pittsburgh have got hot late. Right now, they're one of the informed teams in the country. Really would rather not have to go there in the playoffs.
And, where there's darkness, there's light. Mason Heinschel, I mean, who saw that coming this year? Nobody. Everybody thought this would be the Eli Holstein show all year, but the young freshman's come in and just, he eviscerated Georgia Tech. He did not look fazed by them at all, and he's not looked fazed for most of the season, apart from the big game they lost a couple of weeks ago when they kind of got in his face a little bit. But, I mean, how good is he? His ceiling is huge right now. Pitt are going to have a job holding on to him this off-season. There will be vultures from bigger levels coming for Mason Heinschel.
Yeah, like I say, some will be thinking, like I say, if you do really well, you're bigger and better than Pitt. Like I say, it's going to be interesting to see now. Like I say, I mean, Holstein's got a lot of stuff, like I say, eligibility left, but he's done. This ain't his team no more. He's lost it. Yeah. So Eli's going to have to leave. And then, like I say, you roll with Heinschel then, like I say, and see how far he can take you.
Yep, indeed. Penn State thwacked Nebraska 37-10, but yes, Nebraska's sticking with Matt Rule there, but all is not well in Nebraska, right?
Extension, how bad has it been?
All is not well there. Dylan Raiola, his younger brother, has flipped from the program. He's not going there anymore, and there's big chatter that Dylan's done now because that young freshman TJ, oh God, what's his name? TJ Summit has taken his place there. Dylan Raiola might be on the move soon.
That would not surprise me at all if it kind of just fell apart at the seams.
Yeah, the Raiola family it's well known at Nebraska. Dominic, of course, is royalty there, but seems like the kids will not be there much longer. New Mexico, what a job they've done under Jason Eck this year. 20-3 winners on the road against Air Force, in with a legitimate shot of getting into the Mountain West title game. Boise smoked Colorado State 49-21. Tennessee beat Florida 31-11. Wisconsin beat a ranked Illinois team 27-10, and why Illinois have been ranked at all this season, I don't know. They've been some of the biggest frauds of this season possible, and Wisconsin fans must be in hell, right? Because they're ending the season pretty well, which means Luke Fickell gets another shot at this, and this is like the worst case scenario for them. But I don't think there's been much bigger disappointments than Bielma and Illinois this year. They have been so disappointing. They're 4-4 in the big. This should have been the year they went forward with a lot of their core intact, and they've just fallen apart.
Yeah, like I said, the bar they set themselves in recent years is so high, and they've just not lived up to it in any aspect of the world. And like I said, Altmaier, the drop off this year has been pretty stark. Like I say, so we'll have to see if there's a serious succession plan in line for him.
Indeed, we will. Stanford, as we mentioned at the top of the show, smoked Cal 31-10, which resulted in Cal firing their head coach. North Texas dropped 56 on Rice, the sixth time this year they've gone above 50 points, which is crazy. BYU ranked 11 beat Cincinnati 26-14 as Cincinnati's season's fallen to pieces. The weirdest result of the entire weekend, LSU in Death Valley beating Western Kentucky of the CUSA 13-10 in a game which defies absolute logic, right? Western Kentucky only managed 160 yards of offense to LSU's 414. LSU won the turnover battle as well, had about every major metric on their side, and yet they barely snuck a win against Western Kentucky. I mean, I think it was a fumble return with like a minute to go that got Western Kentucky within 3, but they played with their food, and their food nearly bit back at them.
Yeah, on senior night as well. Really embarrassing. That's the last time that all of those Tigers, like I said, will play a home game. And that's the crap they served up for the fans there.
And half of Lane Kiffin's family will probably have been there as well.
Yeah, like I say, not good for a lot of those guys. That'll be their last memory of, like I say, Death Valley.
Yeah, the only good thing is that Michael Van Buren's been getting wins under his belt for LSU, but isn't the kind of thing that really... I mean, they've got Harlan Berry next year as well. He'll be amazing, but yeah, it's been rough for LSU this year. It's not been nice for them at all. Washington beat UCLA 48-14. Utah State beat Fresno 28-17. San Diego State must be having the best defensive season they've ever had in their lives. They beat San Jose State 25-3. And I'll just quickly go through some of the scores. They've kept down people this year, San Diego State. So just going through it, where can I find it? We get back to this year. They held FCS Stony Brook to 0. They held California, who are a power team, to 0. They held Northern Illinois to 3. They held Nevada to 10. They shut out Fresno State. They held Wyoming to 7. They held Boise State to 7. They held San Jose State to 3. They have pitched 3 shutouts this year, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 performances with 10 points or less. I mean, good God, what a job Sean Lewis has done there.
Yeah, like I say, one of the meanest, stingiest defences, like I say, in total yardage, like I say, on efficiency, on money down, third and fourth down. By far, like I say, one of the best units in all of the country, and they deserve to be where they are right now, like I say, led by an offence that gave its offence multiple, just good field position all year, making their life so much easier for them. It's a dream for them, really.
And you know who put the most points down on them this year? Hawaii. with 38. Like, they have shut 7 teams to below 10 points. Hawaii nearly dropped a 40 burger on them. Just absolutely cray stuff there from them. And then the last one of the week, and I've left it deliberately because we want to end this on a nice note. And Ryan said, quote unquote, there is absolutely no way that Arizona State beat Colorado this coming weekend. And what did they do on the road in Boulder?
They make very hard work of it, though.
I mean, they won 42-17. I mean,
yeah, but they scored nearly all them points like garbage late fourth.
Did they not count though? I mean, I get it.
It was men against boys.
It was done, but I mean,
I do worry. If I think Deion Sanders is done.
They've gone, haven't they? Colorado.
Yeah, they've redshirted the freshman, so he might enter the portal. I feel like I could see Deion Sanders stepping away this off season.
I mean, what did Raleek Brown end with? 230 yards? Something like that? He was just absolutely insane. But I mean, it's been a rough year for the Colorado defense. And it's
been terrible. 4 different quarterbacks. None of them have worked.
And the points they've given up in some of the losses.
They conceded 40 points in like 4 of the last 5 games or something.
Yeah, they gave up 36 to Houston, 35 to TCU, 53 to Utah, 52 to Arizona, 42 to Arizona State. I mean, it's just been brutal this year. And they came in with such a sense of optimism as well, but it's just absolutely, they've just been getting hammered week in, week out, and there's been no relief for them whatsoever. And Arizona State keep their slim hopes alive, however little it may be. They are still there.
Like you say, a lot has to go their way, but just win the Territorial Cup. Like I say, that's all that matters really. And then, well, Levitt's gone. Everyone knows it. The kid deserves a chance to be at a big school. Yeah, so they've got 4-star Jacob Fett coming in, so they have got the next kid, the potential phenom freshman. Yeah, like I say, will Dillingham be here? I mean, that will be the big story of the off season.
Yeah, there will be teams in.
What happens with Florida, LSU, and Ole Miss? That kind of 3-way tussle. Yeah. That will be. If Kenny's going anywhere, he's going to one of them 3.
Feels like Sumrall will get one of them, and then Kenny might get another. Who's the third?
He's adamant. He's come out again this week and said, I'm not going anywhere, but you've got to say that, haven't you?
I mean, there's lots of interest from above. I mean, Chip Kelly's a free agent again. The Clapper supposedly wants to come back to college football. How funny would that be? Who knows who would take a punt on him? Not looking at you, Auburn. But, a lot of interesting times ahead. Anyhow, we're going to very quickly move on to week 14 because we've been going nearly 3 hours now. I've not had chance to do the pick watch this week, so we're just going to go through some of the games specifically. Ranked wise, Georgia playing their rivalry game against Georgia Tech would have meant a lot more if Georgia Tech were in the American the ACC hunt.
Now.
It does, but the next one, and you have been harping this for a while now, number 7 Ole Miss on the road at Mississippi State, and you have been providing the inkling.
Egg ball, pretending to piss on the goalpost upset.
Oh, it's. Yeah, Ryan is predicting.
It's a perfect storm for him ending his tenure on another egg ball loss.
Yeah, I would love him to lose the egg ball.
I would love to see his face like a slapped ass if they lost.
So the rumours, for everybody listening, if you don't know, Lane Kiffin is supposedly announcing his future on Saturday, this coming, the day after the Egg Bowl, before the playoffs start, before any of this, he is announcing if he's going to be moving. LSU, his odds have dropped massively. It looks like Lane Kiffin is going to LSU. But he's supposedly announcing this before the playoffs start. It's a scumbag move. He's done it at every team he's been at. He's kind of left them when it's... I mean, again, Ryan, I know you've been more into this Ole Miss team in recent years, but I see a guy who's never won anything huge despite having vast resources put at his disposal, and he is the SEC version of James Franklin. I just don't get the love with him, despite that he's a TikToker with his daughter. He's appealed to the young ones.
Makes him perfect for LSU. A team that had not won anything with endless resources.
Oh God, you remember those things Kelly was doing where they were doing the whole player reveals and they were doing the weird camera, like old Miss would completely do that with. Sorry, Lane Kiffin would completely do that.
All over that shit.
Yeah, and Whit Weeks has recruited his daughter there already, so
you'd be interested to see as well. Weeks if he returns.
Oh, you'd think he would. He wouldn't want to let his future father-in-law.
Oh yeah, because he had a bad injury too, didn't he? So Whit Weeks is definitely going to return.
I think he probably will. Yeah. Brent goes, great show, lads. Been listening while prepping for the storm. Again, everyone who was in the way of this storm coming in record, we hope you are going to be safe and secure through that. But appreciate you. I know it's been a long one, but we've had a ton of stuff to get through. Utah on the... So Friday's slate, Utah are on the road to Kansas. They need to win that to keep theirs alive. Navy are away at Memphis as well, which is a big one for them. San Diego State at New Mexico. That's the one to watch on Friday, isn't it, Rye? New Mexico... A win at home against SDSU. It's going to be tough, but Jason Eck should be in with a shot at the George Munger if he gets New Mexico to a Mountain West title game after the sheer shite that team's been for so long. Like, one of the most underrated coaches this year in the job he's done, but that's going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah, like I say, it's going to be blow for blow. Everything on the line. Both teams know exactly what they need to do. Like I say, everything left out there. Like I say, it's going to be absolutely massive. But yeah, New Mexico win that. You're looking at a potential for the just sheer turnaround in recent years. Like I say, potential head coach of the year candidate, or at least one of the Broyles Awards. Like I say, at least one of the give the coordinators. Like I say, that have helped him get there some proper recognition.
Indeed. We're moving to the Saturday. We got to quickly talk about the game. Number 1, Ohio State, going to the big house to play Michigan, number 15. I am proud of my record of calling the game. For the last 4 years, I've called Michigan every single year, including last year when absolutely no one believed in them. I saw the way that Michigan could win that game, and they did. Rye, I'm going to give this to you first, but I don't see, and I mean this with the greatest of respect to Michigan, I don't see where the difference makers are on their defense this year to bring this Ohio State team crashing to a halt. I don't see where the matchup is, where they're going to win and they're going to even the playing field. I can't see an equaliser for them. Before I make my pick, is there anything you could say that convinced me otherwise?
No. I don't see how, like, say, Reese, Curry, D-line, pass rushers. I think Bryce Underwood, I just don't think he's ready to rise to the occasion and, like I said, the onslaught that it could come.
No, and these young kids at Ohio State have never known a win over Michigan, and their fans are getting them at it. Even with a natty, losing to Michigan is a stain on your record. And I think this year, Ohio State look different. To me, they look like they do have a backbone this year. Right? Like this means something to them. In recent years, they haven't. Like, the mentality seems different too. Like, these kids, Arvell Reese, Caden Curry and that, they're not going to accept losing again, and they're going to want to go and absolutely crush Michigan.
Yeah, like I said, they're going to want to leave no doubt, no stone unturned.
Right, I've got to make my prediction. For the last half decade, I've given this to Michigan, but I'm sorry, I just can't this year. I don't see where Michigan can hurt them. I have, and this is going to sound really harsh, Ohio State winning by 4 scores. I think this is going to be nasty. Very, very nasty. Yeah. Michigan are getting better. The fact that they're in the Big Ten title game contention this year speaks to volumes of how far they come, and I think they're going in the right direction again, but I don't see the matchup where they beat Ohio State, and there's a lot of pent-up anger on that Buckeyes team. I think they're going to absolutely leather Michigan this year, and I take no delight in saying it whatsoever. So hopefully for the first time I am wrong. Indiana have to play Purdue. Please, Lord, do not lose that one. Tamu, Texas, Rye. Is it different Tamu this year?
They can't play like they did in that first half and expect to win.
No.
I've got a feeling Texas are going to turn up, and that defense is going to cause Reed all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a long odds upset.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is Tamu's year, but I think it's going to be very nervous. I think they walk it off with a field goal or something like that. Brent, we didn't do the centre bit this week, Brent. I'm at 3 hours right now, and I've barely been able to get through everything else because we had all the stuff with the FCS playoffs, the FBS bits, and all the coaching hires and that. I've just not had room to put it in. We will can the centre talk to next week, but it is coming. Don't you worry. We will get it done for you. The other big one, number 12, Miami, the Hurricanes. This is really weird. They're ranked number 12 in the nation, Miami, and they're not going to go to the ACC title game. But Pittsburgh, who could, are ranked 22nd. Pittsburgh are at home. This is a massive game for both teams, Rye. I mean, for Miami, they've got to win to get in the playoffs. For Pittsburgh, they've got to win to get in the ACC title game. This could be an absolute humdinger of a game. I actually think Pittsburgh will smoke them because Miami just seems to crumble when it matters.
That defense can give, like say, a lot of problems to Carson Beck.
But how you can be ranked 9 positions higher when you're not going to make the title game in your own damn conference is just weird and mind-boggling. But then Miami are below Notre Dame, who they've beaten this year, and they've both lost 2 games. So I don't get what the whole seeding thing is doing. It's just
it just
weird.
Doesn't seem to matter. Like games, like say we play each other, they just don't seem to carry any weight anymore.
No, but Miami-Pittsburgh could be a game of the week. Vanderbilt, right, on the road against...
Miss the playoffs, Cristobal get fired?
Yep. I think he will, and I think Goles should have waited for that job. I think it would have been a lot better than going to Arkansas, but I think he will lose his job if he does lose and they miss the playoffs. Vanderbilt away at Tennessee, right? This is going to be the one where everybody writes Vanderbilt off and the Cinderella story's over, and no, nothing more's going to happen. They're a 9-win team, they've had their fun, but Tennessee are a team who are ranked lower than them, have lost more games than them, and are vulnerable. Aguiar's shown he can throw picks when he wants to, he can fold a little bit. Can Vandy get a 10-win season and put in a serious bid for the playoffs?
Oh yeah, I don't rate Tennessee in the slightest.
I think Vandy are going to win as well. I'm going to have them in the pick watch, and I will pick them. I am going to stick with them till the bitter end, but I think Vandy can beat Tennessee. Again, going to be a tremendous game. Arizona at Arizona State, you've already given your thoughts. You think you're going to get blown out?
No, I think they'll keep it fairly close, but Jeff Sims has played pretty much mistake-free football up until now, and he's done very good, but I don't see that lasting.
No.
He's got a Jeff Sims game in him where he goes for like -3 turnover margin.
Yeah.
Feels like the perfect week for him to do it.
Both ranked teams. It feels like it'll have been a while since they'll have both played each other ranked.
Oh yeah, I think Arizona have been ranked for like 3 years or something.
No, they have not. Notre Dame on the road to Stanford. Please, Stanford, do the funniest thing and beat them. The only other two to mention, the Iron Bowl. Any chance Bama lose that?
No. I think Deuce Knight will have fun and play some games, but I think ultimately they'll probably get a snot kicked out of him.
Yeah, and then the other intriguing one, Virginia, ranked 18 at home to newly minted James Franklin and Virginia Tech. This is where rivalry could really kick in there, because there's nothing that VT and Franklin would love to do more than kick Virginia out the ACC title game and absolutely ruin it for them. Can they upset them, or is it just a little too late? Like, Virginia are clearly the better football team, but rivalry week out the window.
Could. Yep, they definitely could beat them. But I say it's going to be intense atmosphere. And I think VT have got a point to prove. It's fair also to all the Penn State commits and decommits. They're playing for bigger... The game's bigger than them, like I said. They're trying to convince all those players to come commit to Virginia Tech. So this is the perfect week to show them why.
Yeah. It is indeed. And with that, that is our little look ahead at week 14, and that is all for us today. It has been a big show, but we have had an absolute ton of stuff to go through, so thank you to everyone who has been listening to us this evening. Obviously, we've had all the news, the new coaching hires, etc. Ryan has made his predictions for the FCS playoffs again. He's got the Montana Grizz winning it over the North Dakota State Bison. We have gone through all the possible scenarios for the FBS conferences and their championship games this week. We've gone through the award finalists for most of the major college football awards. And then we've done our recap of Week 13 and our little look ahead at Week 14. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully we're a lot more knowledgeable for all that now. Next shows, obviously the Lions play tomorrow. Neither Matt or Ash are here. So I may do something on my own. I may not. We will see at this point. But if not, we will have the Lions-Packers Thanksgiving review, probably on Friday or Saturday, something like that. Myself and Ryan will be back next Wednesday. In fact, will we? No, I'm in Leeds, so we'll have to do it a different day. But we will be back next week. Obviously, we'll be looking back at the first week of the FCS playoffs, which will have happened, see how many Ryan got right for that, and adjust if need be. And then we'll know who's in every championship game by then, and we'll have the second to last rankings for the FBS playoffs. We can probably get a good moniker of who's going to be in and out, so we can discuss that a bit more. We will do our centre projections then, although now with Frank being back, maybe we don't need to do it just at this moment in time, but maybe we do as well. And of course, I'll be taking a look through my second part of our look through the group of 5 to look for the superstars of tomorrow. So we've got a packed show already. Anything else you want to quickly mention college ball wise before we get out of here?
Yeah. Portal season, like I say, for the FCS guys and the D1 and D2 guys is already just going insane. We're on track to probably see 2,000 players in this portal or something crazy. It's probably going to break all records.
Yeah, maybe at some point we'll do a little thing where we
There's a lot of guys in the FCS, like I say, that are just going to shoot up to the FBS.
Yeah, we might take a look at some of these guys for you and see who are the best and the best who are coming up from the FCS through the portal. So we'll have a look. But yeah, portal season's open. Bowl season will be they'll be starting announcing that soon as well. Once, of course, all the regular season's over, they'll start with the bowl stuff even before the playoffs. So yeah, absolute ton of stuff to go through. But yeah, those will be the next shows. You know where to find us, ROTL Lions UK, all that good sort of stuff. You know, we appreciate your support as always. You know, it really means a lot to us that you come and join us for these college pods and everything. So thank you very much. A couple of shout outs for the guys over there, the pond, that listen to us. One, first of all, stay safe during this upcoming snowstorm. And when you do get all the snow, go out, enjoy. Have fun with that, and have a happy Thanksgiving, all of you, tomorrow. Obviously we don't celebrate it over here, but we know it's pretty important for you guys over there, so hopefully you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your friends, your family, have lots of turkey sandwiches, and have a nice pint of Packers tears tomorrow after we beat them on Thanksgiving as well. That'll be a good thing to wash all that turkey down with. But yeah, have a great Thanksgiving, and we shall see you again soon. One pride, and we are out of here.